Okay, the stream is up.
Oh, exciting.
How have you been, Renu?
I've been good.
You sound uncertain about that.
Huh?
I said you sound uncertain about that.
I had to think about what I've been up to.
I see.
I had a convention last weekend, and so this week has just been winding down from that, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which convention was that again?
It was Anime Matsuri, the one in Houston.
I've heard some things about that convention.
I too have heard some things. Nothing that I've been able to like verify for myself, which was why I was like. But the convention itself was kind of a organization like nightmare, and so
yeah, I've
I
heard
don't
that.
think I'll be. Yeah, considering it has already a bad reputation, and then on top of that, it wasn't well organized. I don't think I'll be going next year.
Yeah.
It's just like a shame because it's the biggest convention, in town.
In town, yeah.
Yeah. So. But yeah. Some skeevy stuff potentially happening with that convention.
So I've caught up to Gintama.
Uh-huh. Yes. You caught up? Yeah, she's here. You're asking about Clover. You caught up on Gintama?
I'm good.
All the way?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Now the only thing to do about it is wait for the movie to get released here.
Wow. I can't remember if I fully caught up on the anime.
Yeah. There's a lot of like ending fake outs. It's so funny.
Oh my god.
They're like. Just when you think it's over, you're like, oh.
That sounds like something he'd do.
Yeah, and so now because that happens so many times, they literally ran out of anime like slots. Like they promised, okay, we'll be done by now. Now. No. No.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you know how it be.
So now they don't have a time slot for their anime, and so now they're just gonna make a movie to wrap it up?
Correct.
Wow. I don't wait. How much story is left for them to wrap up that they can put into a movie?
A surprising amount.
Wait. Then how are they gonna do it?
I think it'll be fine.
Oh no.
Because they had the final arc, that the anime covered, and then they ran out of episodes. So literally in the middle of one of the scenes, they pulled one of those like Gintama things where they're like, all right, cut. So and then they put on one of those like the like Japanese apology conferences. They put on one of those and just like, so the anime's over. No more anime.
Oh my god.
But yeah, they're making a movie, and apparently it's been licensed for U.S. release. So I guess I'll go see it.
Really? They're gonna put it out in the theater?
At least some theaters. I'm sure I can find one near here. If there was anywhere that was going to be if there was any way there was gonna be a movie version, it's in California, right?
When is the movie supposed to come out?
No one knows.
Okay, then I have time to catch up.
Like they had they had a like their Japanese release was in January of this year.
Oh, okay, so it already came out in Japan.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So,
Well,
yeah.
So it should probably come out later this year, right?
Yeah, theoretically.
Yeah, I mean, cause Ava came out in was it April, March, and it's coming out in August. So
Yeah. So, yeah, oh, yeah, that'll come out at some point, I'm sure. Ava as well. I guess there's a lot of anime movies I gotta watch. Admittedly, like, you know, it's more common than it used to be to get anime releases in theaters.
Oh yeah, definitely. It used to, you just didn't have them at all.
Yeah.
Unless it was like Ghibli or something, but I think Ghibli was probably the one that like opened a lot of doors for anime movies.
Well, it was always Ghibli movies, and then but they were because it was Ghibli movies because they were licensed by Disney.
Right, exactly. Like someone at I forget who, but someone at Disney or whatever was like really, really intent on getting Disney to partner with Ghibli. And that's the only reason why we were able to get them over here.
Yep. So, you know, so it goes. So it goes. All right.
But now we have Demon Slayer in theater, and then we get Gintama.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, probably just the fact that it's probably just the fact that like Your Name was such a big release, right?
But yeah, that's true. I wish Eva wasn't freaking theaters, but I guess that's fine. I'll watch it in the comfort of my own seat so no one can watch me cry.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Mads, what's up?
Hello.
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 I like that yours and my Discord avatars are like color coordinated.
Yeah?
Like they matchies. Yeah,
I guess
we're
that's
both
true.
very warm colors.
Yeah, they're very warm colors. You're watching a stream of resin dice making, now you wanna. Yeah. I mean, you've been talking about that for a while.
I've seen like tutorials of that. I'm like, ooh, I want to do that someday.
To be
They
fair,
wouldn't be balanced, but you know, they'd be cute.
Well, what's funny is like our like little stream avatars too are also colorful.
Oh yeah, because they're white.
'Cause they're both, like, white. All right, shall we begin? Let's begin.
That's enough. Oh. Wait. What? Did you reload?
No.
Wait. What?
It wasn't me. I swear it wasn't me.
The evidence and testimony we have seen and heard are conclusive. The victim was alone at his table when he drank from that coffee.
No, you're wrong. I know what I saw. I saw. I saw someone else there. A man. He's the real killer. It's a pretty suspect silhouette.
Hello?
Excuse me? Oh, he's salt baying the shit out of that coffee.
Uh-huh. I like the handle. It's cute.
Why won't anyone believe me?
Well, I'd say that pretty much wraps this case up, wouldn't you, Mr. Wright?
This court finds the defendant. Oh, Phoenix, you lost! This court has adjourned.
Phoenix, you lost to Winston Payne.
Eee.
Yeesh. January 6th, 10:03 a.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. Ah, the start of the new year always makes me feel like I can take on the whole world.
I bet it does, Maya.
Yeah,
That was a
open and,
fast
open
case,
and
I know.
closed.
Chop, chop,
No,
let's
no
go.
facts, nothing.
We're done.
So, I've decided that our resolution should be Zvari, take on the world. What do you think?
Problem is I can monetize it, and that means I'd likely try to make it a side hustle, and no one wants that. Always the side hustle, Mads. Go get it.
No, side
That's where
hustle
the bread is
tiring.
at.
I don't wanna work anymore. No, thank you.
Wanna either help me not get into a new hobby or get very deep into it?
Oh God.
Yes. I wanna make resin dice. Yes.
Oh God.
Do it. I saw a friend of mine was selling these really cute ones where it was clear and they had little tiny blue birds in there, and I was like, that's me. That's me as a dice.
Wow.
Sure, whatever, Maya, but I think maybe you've had more than enough mistletoe cake. Wait, what is that?
I don't know. Never. You've got to eat a lot of cake during New Year's. It's practically a tradition. Like watching the fireworks on TV or playing a board game.
Hey, pal! Detective Gumshoe.
Happy New Year, Detective.
Likewise. Now listen up, right? I wanna...
Here's to another fruitful year of lawyer-police cooperation.
Yeah, me too. Alright, pal, you got some explaining to...
Have you got a holiday present for me, Detective?
Oh, what? Well, here, have this. It's really nothing much, but,
Yay, thanks.
Look, pal, we need to have a talk. Take a seat.
Hey, what about Pearlie? You haven't forgotten her present, have you?
No, yes, no. Are you doing this on purpose?
Ha! Guess I'm busted. How did you like my first practical joke of the year?
Very funny, pal. Now let's see how funny you think it is when I show you this. What is it? A magazine?
Hey, I want to see. Deadly poisoning brings guilty verdict. Defense attorney Wright trounced?
Trounced? Let me see that. The defense attorney gave an almost childishly amateur performance yesterday. What the heck is this? It's a report, pal, about you.
Listen to this. Mr. Wright must take full responsibility for the ruling in this case? That doesn't sound like what a lawyer's supposed to do.
I know, right? Well, and don't tell me you don't remember anything about it. But I don't remember anything about it. When was that issue from, anyway? December of last year, which I guess makes it last month.
Which makes it old news, you mean?
But I wasn't involved in a poisoning case in December. I don't work, Gumshoe. I clean toilets all day.
Huh. So, what do you think this is all about, Nick?
If it wasn't you, pal, then that leaves only one possibility.
Only one possibility. No way. You don't mean... A phony, Nick?
This must be Gumshoe's idea of a joke. Guess he's starting off the year with one, too.
Magazine clipping added to the court record.
So, what are you gonna do about it, pal? What do you mean, what am I gonna do about it?
Well, it's your fault that the judge found the defendant guilty in this case.
My fault? How do you figure that?
Because the Phoenix Wright is super famous now. Well, maybe only sort of, actually. How much do you work again?
Wait,
New Nick just dropped!
Yeah, See what happens when you hotshots start getting too full of yourselves. But I didn't do anything wrong. At least, not that I can remember. You better make this right, pal. Now. And that means taking the case back to court. Got it?
Sounds like we've got our first case of the new year. Let's tackle it with gusto. Identity theft is no joke. Choto Mateo. I didn't do this.
I don't know. The judge already issued a guilty verdict once in this case. What are you doing, Phoenix? Your identity got stolen. The whole case should be thrown out.
Right? How did they not notice?
To get overturned.
I guess that New Year's resolution is gonna have to wait until next year.
So you're taking the case, right? Good. I'm gonna head over to the courthouse then. After that, I'll go back to the precinct. Drop by if you need something. Okay, pal? You really took a personal interest in this, Gumshoe.
Yeah.
I guess people are starting to know the name Phoenix Wright. I mean, Gato doesn't.
I don't know who you. I don't even know who you are.
Yeah, he still thinks you're trite or whatever. If a client entrusted a case to me based on my reputation, I guess I am kind of responsible. But why would someone want to impersonate me?
Listen, every Japanese property has to have a faker impersonator arc, right?
Yeah, no, I love it. What sort of a guy would do that?
Let's see. Let's go to the detention center. Who are we defending here? January 6th detention
Who did we
center.
get caught guilty?
Visitor's room. This is so nerve-wracking waiting to meet our new client. I wonder just what kind of person you tricked and got found guilty.
Keep it down, Maya. That kind of talk could ruin me. Oh no!
Back at it again!
How could you, Mr. Wright? How could you do this to me? They put me in solitary. I haven't been able to stop crying. Aren't you? No wonder Gumshoe got involved. Yes, I am. I am totally and utterly let down.
Are you...
Don't pretend you don't know me. It's me, Maggie. Remember? Maggie Bird. Maggie Bird. Ah. She was a previous
that other
client,
time
Phoenix.
I had a case with weird fucked up identity stuff.
Everyone in this game has to get convicted twice.
Oh yeah.
Maggie Bird. She's the policewoman I defended that one time. She was accused of murdering her lover. He was a cop too. What are you doing in here? Didn't I get you a quick... Oh, sure. Very funny. After that fifth-rate defense job, you coming in here and start making jokes?
You better hurry up and tell her what happened, Nick.
Wait. Oh, I see. So that's where we stand right now.
I'm sorry you've been caught up in another murder, and an identity theft case.
Maya knows what a second conviction feels like.
and you were in solitary. I mean, Phoenix does too, to be fair.
We all do. My whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures.
It's like that gif where it's just like first time.
I vaguely remember her saying the exact same thing last time. Yeah. But I don't mind. What's one more disaster in my life? Oh dear. At least now the real Mr. Wright is here with me. I won't let the world keep me down, sir.
So how come you're dressed like that, Maggie? Last year you looked so sharp in that police uniform.
I was fired after that incident last year.
You were found innocent!
Yikes!
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I don't mind one bit. I enjoyed being on the force, but I think it was time for me to move on.
So, what do you do now?
In the second act of The Life of Maggie Bird, I'm playing the role of a waitress. Oh.
I see. I mean, a
Feels
classic
bad.
for a very clumsy character.
Feels
A
bad.
waitress?
Yes, in a French restaurant. It's a small place, but it's quite fashionable.
Nope, no qualified immunity. There's no laws here.
My charming smile and shapely figure came through for me. Get it, girl?
Mhm.
And the owner, Mr. Armstrong, hired me straight away, sir. And then you got into this mess straight away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could put it that way. This whole mess started on the 3rd of last month. And it happened at Très Bien.
Trebine?
Yes, it's a restaurant where good service and a friendly smile are always included.
Oh.
There were 2 men at the table, both drinking coffee. And then... Why my man got like a Saiyan radar thing, you know, the power level indicator thing?
I don't
Power level
know.
reader. One of the men slipped some poison into the victim's cup. The victim took just one sip and was gasping for air. I was so shocked, I passed out.
Hey, hold on there, Maggie.
What?
You keep calling the guy the victim. Didn't you know the guy who was killed?
Not at all. I'd never seen the guy before.
Oh.
So she wouldn't have had a motive to kill him then, I guess. And the other man, the killer. You saw him, right? Of course! A good waitress must be attentive to the clientele. So, you saw the killer, but you were found guilty of the crime anyway? How come? You tell me, Mr. Wright!
I wasn't there.
It wasn't me! Guess the answer to my question is my phony. Anyway, she saw the killer. Better see if I can get a description of the guy.
So if you saw the murder, why are you still convicted?
Because no one else saw.
Saw what?
The other man. The one who put the poison in the victim's coffee. Everyone testified that way. Mr. Armstrong, the customer, everyone. The victim was sitting alone at his table the whole time. But how's that possible? I don't know, but nobody, not one person, would believe me, sir. Even Phoenix Wright, my one last hope for a fair trial, failed me. What a pathetic defense! My granny could have done a better job! Look, that wasn't me, okay?
I didn't do
We've been over
it!
this. And then we found something a bit incriminating in my apron pocket.
What?
A small bottle of poison.
What? Poison? It was in your pocket?
Well, I passed out when the victim collapsed. The killer must have slipped the poison into my pocket when I was unconscious.
Oh, man.
And no one else saw this other guy? No, sir. That's what everyone said. But I don't see how they could have missed him.
The answer is law doesn't exist, but shouldn't you be trying to prove it wasn't you and get this declared a mistrial? I mean, pretty much, right?
Yeah. I was the one who took the coffee to the 2 men. Oh? And what was your impression of them? Well, when I first saw them, I kind of thought they might be in the music industry.
In music? How come?
Well, one of them had some sort of earpiece and an emo musician's look about him. And there was a sample CD on the table, sir.
An earpiece and a sample CD, huh? Did you get a good look at the CD at all?
It had a band's name written on it. I think it was MC something. They must have been preparing for their debut, I guess. So it was a band CD. Maybe a promo disc?
Don't try to use the law against the video game. You won't win. Maybe it was MC Screwdriver. No, that's
Okay.
silly. MC Wrench. No. MC Hot Dog.
I understand the joke. Get serious, Maya. Would you buy the CD of a group named that? Yes.
Yes.
What was the name of that group again? MC Hacksaw? No. MC...
And what about the killer? What did he look like?
Well, I don't really remember. Only that he was a young man. Well built, like the victim, really. That badge, is it real? Of course it's real. That's what they all say. But I've been duped before. Look at me, I'm only in here because of that. Give it to me for a second. Ah. Chomp.
She bit into it.
And I left a few teeth marks too. I can see that. Thanks.
Wow.
I just wish I could remember if that means it's fake or if it's real. I said it was real.
Dang, lady, you got a strong jaw.
Bro, she got fooled. Phoenix, you gotta cut her some slack. Oh yeah, I need to ask you about this. Hey, this article's about my case. Can you tell me anything about the guy who was pretending to be me? Yes, sir. It was the morning after I'd been arrested. I met you in the visitor's room here. You were wearing one of your super sharp suits. Me? I have a super sharp suit?
Yeah, right?
Yes, you, Mr. Wright.
Hey, Maggie, was my evil double I am here too?
No, I don't remember a phony you, Maya.
Oh, would've been so cool.
That would've been great. Then you got really worked up and passionate. I'm gonna get you cleared of this crime, you said. Okay, I get the picture. But you've met me in person before. So how come you didn't realize that guy wasn't the real me? I guess, looking back now, it was a little strange. Only a little? Well, okay. So, you were a bit taller than normal. And you looked a bit shady. And your voice was a bit weird. Oh, and you had this kind of funny accent. And so the guy was nothing like me then!
The fake you is Joey from Yu-Gi-Oh! Hey! I'm here to get you cleared of this your crime!
You need to be the fake Phoenix.
I will be, don't worry.
But he had your spiky hair Is that all it takes for someone to imitate me?
Well, considering that nobody from the prosecution to anyone in the trial to anyone who was watching the trial to the
Yeah.
judge noticed,
Yeah.
I think that answer is pretty conclusive, Phoenix.
Yes.
How about everyone else in the courtroom, like the judge and the observers?
There we go.
Didn't they realize he was an imposter?
Everyone had these big question marks on their faces. But it seemed that no one wanted to say anything, sir.
This case
What?
just keeps getting weirder and weirder.
Yeah. Mr. Wright, do you think it's possible to get a retrial?
Could the
I mean-
imposter be me?
If we can prove that it was a fake me, probably.
Phoenix
the court
Wright.
ruled in the absence of a genuine defense attorney.
Wow, we're actually gonna bring up the law now, are we?
Yeah, I mean, unless he was a real attorney, but even then, he was impersonating someone. So yeah, so we should be able to get a retrial.
Phoenix Wright sus among us.
Mr. Wright? Huh? Do you think we'll win next time, sir? My life has been a full-course meal of bad luck, complete with defeat for dessert. Since I was 6 months old, when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building. I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods. Failed at almost every test I've taken, and experienced almost every kind of disaster. I even landed a phony lawyer when I had the misfortune of being accused of murder.
Then she what? Yep.
I will survive, because Maggie Bird always lives to fight another day. And one day, I'll find it. Just you wait and see, sir. I'll find that one single moment of good luck.
Zin Eop is really gonna pay for this.
What are you staring at me like that for? Maya's right. Whoever it is that thought it was a good idea to use my name and get an innocent girl convicted of murder had better watch out.
We'll find him. Don't you worry. We'll get Zin Eop for you.
Thank you. Oh, I'll tell you where Très Bien is then. Right. The restaurant where the murder took place. Yes, sir. When you go, please tell Mr. Armstrong I said hi.
Sure. Alright, Nick. Let's go check out this restaurant and its food. Especially its food. January 6th.
Is there another freaking badger?
Look, now there's a pink badger.
Oh god, they're handcuffed together.
Yes. That's how you know they're friends. It's been ages since we came down to the precinct, huh, Nick?
Looks like Gumshoe isn't around.
He's got it so easy, leaving everyone else to do the work.
Oh, man. No, he's out there somewhere. My bet is on the courthouse. He's probably trying to arrange the retrial of this case.
Well, guess that means we should go to the detention center and chat with our killer, huh? Oh, we already did that.
We already did that. After being convicted without a fair trial, I'm not sure killer is the right label.
Hey, that's the police mascot, isn't it? It's so cute. That's the blue badger. It was my idea. I made it. And now it's the national symbol of the police force.
So what's with the pink one? It's new, right?
She's not an it, Nick. She's a she, right, Chief? Yup, meet the pink badger. So, one's called blue and the other's called pink. But they're both called badger? Anyway, Nick, drink some women-respecting juice.
Whoa, what?
You got it. They're married.
Is that why they're handcuffed together?
Mr. and Mrs. Badger seem to be cuffed together, Chief. You got it. That's marriage for you. Ha!
Whoa, a mascot that's deeper than the deepest of deep oceans.
Nick, I think the chief of police has to drink some women-respecting juice.
This must be the chief of the detectives here. He's glued to his computer screen.
What? Master Mask turned up at the bank? What's he doing? Hands up, you scalawags. You're under arrest. Hey, that's our job.
Looks like Rhonda Lights opted for a new career.
Quit surfing the net, Chief. Sorry, I was just,
Things feel pretty tense in here. Rhonda Light don't quit.
January 6th, treat.
My god.
Wow, look at this place.
There's just so much.
Wow, look at this place.
Look, more like smell. What is with the suffocating scent of flowers in here? Then again, girls like that kind of thing, right? All right, Phoenix, how about more women-respected juice?
Actually, I'm not all that into it. You know what you should be into, though? Drinking women-respecting juice, Nick! No one's coming to seat us. Maybe there's no one here.
Don't be silly, Maya. This is a restaurant, and it's open for business. Hello? Mosh? Anyone here? I don't believe it. There really isn't anyone here.
Perfect. Let's get intrusive.
Ah!
If there's no one here, we can take anything we want.
Maya, you are too quick with that. Yeah, I suppose we can. It's the restaurant's front entrance. There's a sign hanging on the door written in French. It probably says open or closed. It must be one or the other, but I don't know which since I don't know Jacques about French.
Wow. It's a rack full of fashion magazines, and they're all in French.
Why don't you try wearing something a bit more chic sometime then, Maya?
Huh, yeah, I guess I could. I'm always in my acolyte clothes, aren't I? Be fun to wear normal clothes every now and then.
Huh? There's something stuffed in behind the rack.
Looks like a sports paper to me. Hey, and look at this! Someone scribbled a little doodle on one of the pages.
Oh!
MC Bomber! And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. $100,000? Maybe?
I wonder what MC Bomber's supposed to be. This paper. It's from December 3rd. This paper's from the day of the poisoning.
What? Sports paper, I do the court record.
A paper from the day of the murder. This has got to be a clue. I should see if I can find out some more about this paper.
Look at all the little trinkets tucked away in here.
I bet Mr. Armstrong collected all of these personally. Let's see. A bouquet of flowers, some potpourri, and look! Fine bone china cups.
I never knew you were so cultured.
Come on, Maya. This is common knowledge. Any Joe Schmo knows this much.
I don't know about that. I think
I don't know about that.
Look, it's one of those magical boxes that spits out money.
You know, you're the only person who would ever describe a cash register in that way.
What, you mean it's not magic? I don't get it.
Mhm. This table's set nicely. It just needs a customer.
What do you think this flower is, Nick?
Let's see. Well, it doesn't look like a tulip, and it's not a sunflower, I don't think.
Duh, even I could have told you that.
Well, those are the only kinds of flowers I know. Dag nabbit, I'm a lawyer, not a botanist. Wow, it's a beautiful winter wonderland out there.
Really? Cool, I love snow. Let me see. Huh? It's not white, it's not even snowing.
Gotcha. I was only kidding, Maya.
Nick, there are lies that are okay to tell and lies that definitely aren't.
All I did was tell an itty-bitty white lie about non-existent white snow.
We were just outside.
I know! This restaurant has partitions that separate the tables. When you're seated at a table, you can only see the tables to your right or left. This must be the table where the murder occurred.
I guess so, with all this police tape all around it.
And that stain must be from the poisoned coffee. It's been like this for a month? Golly.
Yeah, they haven't touched this fucking crime scene.
Uh-huh. Don't go licking the tablecloth, okay, Maya?
Why would I lick it? I'm not a cat, you know.
And why can I picture you doing just that?
Man. How dare you?
Oh, a sport paper. Let's see. Did Goodson Braun manage to defend his heavyweight title? Sorry, Maggie. That paper is actually a month old. It's from the day of the murder.
And Goodson got knocked out yesterday, I'm afraid.
Oh no! I found this paper in the magazine rack at Très Bien. Really? Well, that's strange. Idea.
Hello.
Très Bien doesn't get newspapers. Mr. Armstrong says he's not really fond of them.
Then maybe one of the customers left it behind.
Anyway, what I want you to take a look at is this scribble here. Aha! That's it, sir! MC Power! That was the name that was written on the CD! Just as I thought.
I guess it wasn't MC Screwdriver after all, huh?
So that 100,000 must be a down payment for the record deal, right?
If someone gave me $100,000, I'd sing for sure. Master of Kurain, or the Spirit Song, or even Maya's theme. Imagine. Imagine.
Okay, Maya. So, if the sample CD was on the victim's table, that means this newspaper may have belonged to the victim.
You're right.
So the victim left this behind on the day of the murder, huh?
I think it's, we better step up the investigation, don't you, Nick? Aye.
Boy.
January 6th, Très Bien. Oh la la, bonjour, welcome to La Très Bien.
Ah!
Oh, hello.
What happened to Maya? She's frozen stiff. Oh!
Bienvenue. Welcome to my petit restaurant. Huh? P Avenue? Oh no, my petit Julie. Huh? Me? Look at his face. Like a kitten rejected by his own mother. You are fatigued, non? Alors, you need this? An aromatic bass oil mélange of la Neroli and la Rose. My personal recommendation. You think I need what? Oui, just add a couple of drops. I'm so sorry, Dia. I'm so sorry this is where you came in.
Where we're going. We don't have Dia here to voice this, so we're going.
Just add a couple of drops of this mixture to la bath water and voila. It will soothe your body and your mind. It's simply fantastic.
Just like, call upon your inner Dia.
And for la mesure,
Who, me?
look at that face, like la puppy rejected by life itself. You are fatigued, non? For you, monsieur, I recommend this. Oil of bergamot and maybe a hint of... oui. I will add la peppermint and la clary sage for a fragrance exceptionnelle. Such an invigorating recipe will bring out your delicious beauty, monsieur.
Delicious.
Delicious!
My beauty. Delicious.
Hello, if you will be seated, I will bring you the special menu of the day.
Actually, we're not here to eat. We're lawyers.
Ah, bien sûr. I know this already, monsieur. You are la Phoenix, right, non?
Yes. You know me?
Ah, oui. I never forget a man who flirts with me, especially in court.
Oh, Phoenix.
I guess he was cross-examined by our mysterious Xenia.
Looks like everyone to do with this case knows who I am already.
Everybody also just cannot tell the difference between you and fake Phoenix, right?
Apparently.
I wonder what sort of impressions Yep's been leaving on people, don't you? How many times has a man been flirted with in court? I don't know. Allow me to introduce myself to you again. I'm Jean Armstrong, enchanté.
So glad you're voicing him and not me.
So what does Très Bien mean? I know tres, that means 3, right? No. Très bien is François. In English, you would say very good. Oh, very good. Oui, exactement. La atmosphere is très bien, la cuisine is très bien.
If the food's so good, why aren't there any customers in here?
Probably because
Because they
someone
have to
got
preserve
murdered.
a crime scene, Phoenix, apparently, for a whole
Français?
month.
Français? Parlez-vous français? My cuisine is not for all. Some people, they do not appreciate la hot cuisine.
I thought everyone liked hot cuisine.
Since I have lost Maggie, I do not have enough hands.
So you're running this place on your own now?
Oui, for the moment. No one has answered my advertisement. Oh, pour moi.
I tapped on, did not expect this, chef. You didn't expect these glistening eyes?
This is a shoujo protagonist right here. This is a French person. I am a Francois.
Please don't eyeball me while you say that.
I am le chef. I am le manager. I am also a trained aromatherapist.
Wow.
A roaming what? A practitioner of aromatherapy. The art of soothing the soul with the delicate floral aromas.
Delicate. The smell coming from that bottle earlier was anything but.
I'm gonna die before this trial's over.
So could you tell me what you know about the incident?
Bien. Makes me sad to remember it, yet I remember it so well. More than a month has passed since it happened.
Yeah, I guess it's been about a month since Maggie's sentencing.
So, it was the 3rd of last month, just after 1 in the afternoon. A man who was in here for a coffee suddenly became ill.
Because of the poison in his coffee?
That is the truth as I know it. It was Maggie who took his drink to him. I was in the kitchen. I heard the sound of someone collapsing. When I came out to see what it was, he was already slumped in his chair. He was dead? Mon Dieu, oui, he was dead. Maggie had passed out also.
And this man who died, was he alone?
Oui, monsieur. All alone. I know that Maggie said there was someone else, but... I see. La police. They asked me many times. Are you sure there was no one else at the table? They asked. But I am not the only one. The old man said the same thing.
Old man? What old man? So who is this old man that you mentioned?
At the time of la merde, there was another customer in here. What? Someone else saw it? Marie, as usual, he came alone that day. At the time of la merde, he was here, he saw it too. But he said the same thing. That there was no one else at the victim's table. Table.
Table!
Table. Table. But Maggie swears there were 2 people. Mademoiselle, la lawyer, he could not prove this, no? Old man sus. What, you some kind of sussy baka?
About the lawyer, that was me, I suppose?
Bien sûr.
Wow! He's the first person who said it wasn't me.
Don't kid yourself, Nick. Huh. Now who's the one making stuff up?
Let me dream.
I am not a lawyer myself. I do not wish to speak out of turn. But your defense in court that day was a little, how you say, lacking, perhaps. Even a Frenchman who cannot speak any English could have done a better job. You were very cool though. Ah, oui, so handsome.
What the well, there's that.
I wonder just how bad the defense could have been. Every time you opened your mouth, your courthouse stared.
Oh man, that is something I don't want to imagine. We found the sports paper in the magazine rack here.
Oh no, my customers must have left it behind. Do you have any idea which customer it was? It's the only ideas I have, mademoiselle. I save for my kitchen. Please, monsieur, there is no need to show me that. You are more Phoenix, right? The worst defense attorney in town.
Ah! I think I can imagine how you performed this completely wrong impression of me. The last time we met, did I show you this badge?
Oui, you flashed it to everyone in the restaurant. Looks like Zintiap is a bigger fan of flashing stuff than you are, Nick. Jeez.
Oh.
more clues here? Any more clues? If there's any clues, you gotta tell me. It's the law.
I gotta stuff it into my pocket. That's also the law.
Let's see if Gumshoe's in. No? Hmm.
Oh, so you met the owner, Mr. Armstrong. He's, how can I put this? Pretty unique, huh? He has a really intense aura as a chef and as a person. Yeah, he has a pretty intense aroma, too.
So did Mr. Armstrong really not see the killer?
Apparently not. Well, he's in the kitchen all the time, so I guess it's possible that he didn't. Oh, Detective Gumshoe! He really looked out for me when I was on the force. Have you seen him recently? No, he's never been to the restaurant.
Guess he's not a fan of French cuisine, huh? He probably can't
I don't
afford
think
it.
he can afford it.
He's an instant noodle type of guy after all. I mean, like, yes, but I don't think by choice.
I don't think by choice, yeah! Yeah, he prefers the simple things in life. Oh man, y'all don't know. Or he's just simply too poor to afford anything else, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll present some profiles. Maggie was a policewoman once. Tu sais pas?
Yes, but she had to quit for, reasons beyond her control.
Oui, oui. She was the suspect in the murder investigation, no? Oh, you know about that? That is why I gave to her la perfume for la happiness.
Happiness perfume?
Oui, blended from bergamot, like I have given to you before.
But she's been arrested again, and found guilty this time.
This is true. The natural aroma of unhappiness must have been very strong.
Just admit it. Your perfume doesn't work.
I am not surprised she was the prime suspect. After something like that took place before my very eyes. Something like what?
What's this guy talking about?
Does this mean Maggie did have a motive? No, Phoenix. Happiness perfume. It's different.
Gotta ask this guy for more info. Stat. When Maggie took the coffee over to the victim, did anything happen?
Oh, oui. I suppose you could say so.
So what happened?
No, it was nothing. Look, Maggie says she didn't even know the guy, but she's still been indicted for murder. The prosecution must have come up with some kind of motive. Oui, it is true.
If there was anything at all between Maggie and the victim, it could be relevant.
So please, tell us anything you know. Oh.
Oh!
Ba, ba, ba.
Oh man, 3! Psyche locks.
Oh, no way. What are we gonna do, Nick?
We'll just have to remove... What the?
What's wrong?
The Magatama. It's gone.
Huh?
I had it in my pocket, but it's vanished into thin air.
You were at the
Choto
table last night you
Mateo.
were ready to murder. You know what? That's valid. Yeah, working in food service gives you all the motive you need. What?
But I could see the Psyche locks. Maybe that means the Magatama's nearby? Mr. Armstrong? Could I just confirm something with you again? The table where the victim was sitting. Was anyone else sitting there?
That is a question you will have to ask him yourselves. Huh? Eh? La old man spends all of his time dans la park.
La park? Oh, a park? What park's that?
Behind the restaurant. It is called the Vitamin Square. Oh, thank you. Je vous en prie, my dear. Let's go check out this vitamin square right now, Nick. Right now, Nick! We're leaving, Nick! January 6th, Vitamin Square. So this is Vitamin Square.
Yeah, I can see where they get the name from now. The roots scream vitamins at you.
Hey,
So do
Nick.
the birds.
That's the guy, right? Isn't that the old man Mr. Armstrong was talking about?
That grouchy looking grandpa?
He's throwing seeds out for the pigeons.
He's not throwing seeds for them. He's throwing seeds at them.
Oh my. Look at this old guy.
Ugh. My grumpiness threat level has just been raised to red. Excuse me. Would you mind if I had a word with you?
45 minutes late for their reservation. After calling to shift it later, they got in were clearly drunk. Oh, yikes.
Man.
Yikes, yikes, yikes. That sounds terrible.
Yes.
I just want to ask you a couple of questions.
What's the matter with you? Can't you see I'm busy? So you don't like my seeds, you pigeons?
He's really chucking those seeds at them. It's gotta hurt.
He would have been acquitted.
Go on, eat this.
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you about Maggie Bird?
I don't know any Maggie Bird.
Yeah, you do. Maggie, the waitress at Très Bien.
Disgrace, I tell you, an utter disgrace.
A disgrace?
And is a young girl revealing herself like that?
Revealing? You mean her uniform?
The youth of today, they don't have any shame. No shame, I tell you. Not one ounce. Whatever happened to the old Bushido values of Japan, like honor and modesty?
Wow, he brought a Bushido.
He brought up Japan. I didn't know it existed in this world. What about me? I'm not wearing anything revealing.
You? Your problem is you lack any sense of grace.
Oh!
Talk about hitting a girl where it hurts.
You can't be. No, Maya! You go to Tribune a lot.
Huh. Miserable excuse for a restaurant. That garbage they serve in there's not food. Where's the sushi, the tempura, the rice?
Tribune is a French restaurant, sir.
Where do you think we are, boy? In Paris? I want real food, not those snooty snacks. And what about those shameless girls?
You mean the waitresses?
And you can see all the way up to their... yes, the waitresses! They're practically naked. It's a disgrace, isn't it? Well, isn't it?
Maybe you shouldn't be looking, old man.
Right? Avert
Listen,
your
it's
eyes.
not my
Look
restaurant.
respectfully.
Miserable excuse for a restaurant, that place. Miserable.
He certainly knows the place. He must be a regular. Even though he apparently disapproves.
Right?
If he hates it so much, why does he keep going? Exactly!
Are you a regular at that restaurant, sir? It's just, if you dislike it so much, why would you keep going there?
Sir?
There you are, you filthy pigeons. You want food? Ha! Take that!
He must be hiding something, right?
If he is, I should be able to see a psyche lock or two. Oh, wait. I don't exactly have the Magatama right now, huh?
Remember, Nick, that Magatama's only on loan. You better find it, or else.
If Pearls ever gets wind of this, I'm going to be in a world of pain.
Oh, look. Hey,
Small.
look, pigeons!
Yeah, and heaps of them, too.
Did you know that pigeons are a symbol of peace?
That's a dove, not a pigeon.
Poor things. So they can't be symbols of peace and harmony just because they're gray? Is that it? I mean, doves are pigeons, so...
You're overthinking this one by just a smidge, Maya.
Maybe you should reassess your biases, Nick! Oh, there's a magazine here.
A magazine full of job listings.
Oh, it's perfect for you!
Oh, hey!
You disgusting, rogue. Picking up something someone else threw away.
Threw away? Did you throw this away? Are you looking for a job?
That's none of your business.
Nice! Sorry. I guess I'll just take the magazine with me then.
I don't want anyone else having it. Give it back!
Too bad. Now that you want it so bad, I don't want to give it up.
Job listings added to the coat.
Nice move, Phoenix, being more of a child than this
Wow.
old man.
Hey, that's mine!
Looking at this orange reminds me
What?
that you're supposed to eat a lot of them to ward off colds in the winter. You can't have fun during the holidays if you're sick in bed, you know.
You don't have to tell me twice.
This place is so fruity.
It's not a bad thing. Besides, I love apples. They're among my favorites.
And then apple slide is perfect for you.
And what is so perfect about it?
Oh, come on. Don't be a stick in the mud. Slide down it a few times. Go on.
Ooh. No way! I'd get covered in sand if I slid down that slide. Anyone can see that.
Yeah, you're right. Otherwise, I'd give it a try too.
My perfect blue suit.
Yep. I used to love sandboxes like you wouldn't believe.
Really? You?
Sure, finding iron filings in the sand with a magnet was my favorite thing to do.
What? Iron filings? Wow, that's too exciting for words.
It was my ambition to collect every single shred of iron in the sandbox. I was such a kid back then.
So, did you manage to get all the iron?
No, I never did. I think I came close, though. Come to think of it, I still have all the iron filings I found way back when. You want them?
No.
Wow. Hey, tell us about... Oh, wait. We don't have a profile for the old man. Boo. He just keeps throwing beans at us.
He just hates us.
Well, I guess we'll go see if there's anything anywhere else. Excuse me, have you seen my Magatama anywhere? Asking for a friend. Where the hell did I drop the Magatama? Hello? I just had it on me. This man really doesn't want to talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
Mademoiselle! Yes? Are you looking for a job? What? What? No? 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 I was just... Let me see. Your style is un peu different, but you have a good face. Different? Felicitations, you have passed. I will hire you. Bien, come with me. I will teach you everything I know.
Bye.
Nick!
Bye! I don't know whether to laugh or feel bad for Maya. Maybe I should do both? It looks pretty cold out there on the streets. Peaceful, though. It's nice that people can take it easy after the holiday rush.
Good on you, mate.
Mr. Armstrong must be a pretty big neat freak. He already has this table ready to go. Now, if only the food in this place was edible. Haven't tried a phoenix? Must be the table where the poisoning occurred. The stain tells the story well. The whole area is still cordoned off with police tape. I guess it must still be under investigation. It's really tight behind the cash register counter. Did Mr. Armstrong even get in there?
Wow, Phoenix.
And then, you're right. And if he got in, could he get out again?
Phoenix. Be nice.
There's a bunch of little trinkets on a shelf by the door. I bet Mr. Armstrong collected all of these personally. It's a rack full of fashion magazines, and they're all in French. Ugh. All the clothes in these are absolutely atrocious. Like you would know about fashion, Phoenix!
Right.
Some of them have been circled in red. I really hope Mr. Armstrong is not thinking of buying those.
Yeah, Phoenix, come on.
You with your one blue suit.
You own one piece of clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, January 6th, detention center, visitor's room.
Looks like they have Maggie in questioning. I guess I've asked her pretty much everything. I'll come back if there's anything else I need to ask her later.
January 6th, police station, criminal affairs department.
Well, pal, have you found the evidence yet? The one that's gonna find her innocent? No, not yet. We've only just started our investigation. Well, whatever you need to know, I'll give you the dirt on it. I'm putting off all my other cases for now, pal.
I don't think you can do that.
I don't know if that's a good idea. She's really fired up about this. Oh yeah, one more thing. The retrial's been approved. Court's sitting at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And Gatto's gonna be the prosecutor.
Wow, we had easy mode before. Phony fake Phoenix Wright got to take a bout with old Winston Payne. Old Winston Payne Reno.
And he still lost.
And he lost, and now here we are with Mr. Gatto.
Oh, him. Why don't you wear like a coffee-proof helmet next time, Phoenix, for the trial? Now listen up, pal. If Maggie's found guilty again, yes? I'll make sure you get locked up. Good for it. Got it.
Jeez.
So the guilty party was Maggie Bird, huh? Yeah. Back when she was on the police force. You were her mentor when she was a rookie, right? Yeah, I kept a close eye on her. I mean, not too close, you know?
I was looking respectfully.
Hey, what's with the funny looks, pal? I'm respectful. I was just it wasn't anything like... Look, sure, I was her boss when she was doing her training. But that was it. Nothing happened. Gumshoe sure is sweating up a storm over nothing.
This does mean that Winston Payne has won more cases than Gatto. That is completely true.
Ah, so that's it. Our big old Gumshoe has a little old crush on Maggie. I don't like her or anything.
Oh, big ol' tsundere Gumshoe.
I was... Note to self. Gossip with Maya about this later. Look, pal. Don't tell anyone, okay? You gotta keep it a secret, got it? Sure.
Poor Gumshoe.
And would you mind not guessing what I'm thinking all the time? Hey, tell your face, pal, not me. You'd have to be blind not to see what's on your mind.
Wow.
So I was wondering, could you fill me in on the victim? Glenn Elk. He was a computer programmer.
Oh my god. Look at this fucking dude.
His freaking name, too!
Glenn Elg.
I see. A programmer. He was just a regular Joe working for a small-time computer firm. Look, he's got to find all the Saiyans and their power levels.
Vegeta, what is the...
Etc. etc.
Maggie never had any contact with the guy before that day. And all she did was take him his coffee on the day of the murder, pal. Yeah, Maggie also claimed to have never seen the guy before. Did the victim go to the restaurant often? Not according to the chef. Said it was the first time he'd seen the guy. A programmer, and a first-time customer at that. What possible reason could Maggie have had to kill a guy like that? That's what I thought. But a motive was still somehow established in her trial. You're kidding! What was her supposed motive? Sorry, pal. I'm real busy. I haven't even got enough time to sift through these papers. Look into it yourself, okay? What could his motive have been? This isn't really a proper investigation. I'm kind of working on it by myself. Oh, that's right. The judge already ruled on the case, and all the evidence is in already. The only problem is with Maggie's testimony. Yeah, it doesn't sound very good for us, huh? Look, pal. I've got a mountain of papers on this case to look over before tomorrow. So I'm just gonna say this. Maggie Bird's no liar. She's... Okay, so she's a bit out there, and a bit off base sometimes. But she was a good cop. That's not exactly complimentary, you know.
Not really.
So what do you think really happened? And just how contradictory is her testimony? The biggest problem with Maggie's testimony is the number of people at the table. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Maggie still insists there was another guy sitting with the victim. Right, but get this. Everyone else in the place says the guy was alone, even the chef. And then there's that CD. CD? Oh yeah, she did mention something about a CD. And there was a sample CD on the table, sir. But our guys turned that place upside down. There was no CD. What? Not on the table, not anywhere in the whole restaurant, pal. But didn't Maggie say the victim was wearing an earpiece too? Yeah, but that was for the portable radio in the front pocket of his hoodie. A radio? He didn't have a CD player? You got it. Your phony never explained that contradiction at all. Come to think of it, the owner of Tribune didn't mention that CD either. I don't know why, but I get the feeling Mr. Armstrong's got something to hide. What's that? Sports paper? Yeah, I found it in the magazine rack at Tribune. It's dated the same day as the murder. You may be onto something here. And take a look at this. See this writing here? MC Bama. Hey! What is it? I've heard that name somewhere before. Yeah, MC Bama. Wow, he actually seems to be thinking for once. Alright, Phoenix, chill out!
Wow.
It's no good. I can't remember.
Let he who is without sin throw the first stone.
And he goes back to being the gumshoe we all know and love. Alright, Phoenix. Hey, pal. I'm gonna borrow this paper for a bit, okay? I want to get a handwriting analysis done on this scribble. Handwriting, huh? It'd be good to know more about that in any case. Thanks, pal. I bet this will turn out to be an interesting clue.
Sports paper given to Detective Gumshoe.
I wasn't at the trial myself, but I asked this one detective I know how your defense was. What did he say? He started off by saying, I'm at a complete loss for words. But he must have found some quick because he went on and about how bad you were for an hour.
Jesus.
But he said you sucked so much, it seemed like you were trying to get Maggie found guilty. It looked like I was trying to get Maggie found guilty. Glenn. Have you gone to see Maggie? Of course I have. But I wasn't much good at consoling her. I'm not very good with words. Oh. Yeah. I guess I must have looked a bit down. Maggie was really supportive of me. Oh. It was great to have someone to talk to. Did he go for her or for himself? The chef of Très Bien, huh? You know what that chef said to me? Ooh la la, your body is full of the toxins. And then he gave me this bottle. What's in it? I don't know. The label says juniper. I'm under orders to put a few drops of it in my bath every day. Under orders? Yeah, you know, there's something about that lady. I mean, guy. Huh? You can't stop thinking about him? Not like that, pal. Give me a break. He's not my type. I mean, I can't stop thinking that he's involved with this case somehow. Sounds like he knows a little something more about our charming chef. So what exactly is it that caught your attention about the chef at Très Bien? It's, kinda hard to say. The guy's probably not even connected with the case anyway. Hey, come on, detective. Didn't you say you'd give me the dirt on anything? Well, this sort of stuff is kinda unimportant, gossipy stuff. You know, pal? Look, how about this? You go to Très Bien and investigate the place yourself. And if you find out anything suspicious about the guy, you report back to me, okay? Don't suppose I get a choice in this, huh? Guess I better find out more about the chef and Très Bien, then report back to Gumshoe.
Wow, he's just making us do it.
He busy!
Detective Gumshoe.
Many paper to read. Trial tomorrow.
January 6th, Très Bien.
The scent of flowers sure is strong. It's almost making me dizzy. Hey! Oh, hello?
Leaves.
Bye! Who was that just now? A customer? She had sort of a dark aura about her.
Ah, welcome, B Avenue.
Wow, what a cute voice.
Oh, it's just you, Nick.
Maya!
Well, how do I look?
You are adorable! Maybe you should quit being a spirit medium.
Maybe. It's kind of boring being a waitress. I mean, you're my first ever customer.
Then who was that woman I just saw?
Oh. Since you're here, you might as well have something to eat.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry, actually. So how do you like your new job, Maya?
I never knew there was so much for a waitress to do. Take people's orders, bring them their food, make coffee, work the cash register. Of course, we need a customer before I can do any of that.
Yeah, it's a nice-looking restaurant. It's a shame more people don't come.
Well, don't forget about the ultra cute waitress. Check out my gimme a tip smile.
I love her.
Cute. Hey Nick, why don't you order something? The chef's preparing a tasty lunch set at the moment. Or so he says.
How much is it?
It's the twin tea set, so $20, of course.
Ooh. The twin tea set? I believe I'll be taking a pass on that. It's kind of expensive.
I don't have $20. What? But you can't. Come on, Nick. It's not every day I gotta be a waitress. I wanna try carrying plates and working the cash register.
How about cleaning the toilets? That should keep you busy.
Yeah, right. Maybe later?
About the lunch.
Oh, a fine choice, sir.
No,
Kitchen, a lunch special, please.
oh my god.
With all the extras, drink,
Oh,
side
no.
salad, dessert, and gift.
I don't need any of that!
What's it with the Phoenix and cleaning toilets? It's all he knows how to do. He doesn't know how to be a
Yeah.
lawyer. Just a moment, please, sir.
Maya's really getting into this.
But I don't have $20.
So how much is this set lunch then? $20, huh? But with the drink, side salad, and dessert, it's $45? Hey, wait a sec, Maya!
Sorry to keep you waiting, sir. Here you are, our deluxe Fortify lunch set.
Man. Whoa.
A dish inspired by lobster and abalone fricassee with balsamic vinaigrette. Bon appetit.
Thanks.
Come on, Nick, hurry up and try already.
Lobster, huh? Alright, down the hatch it goes.
Well,
Are you hungry, Maya?
I'm starving.
Here, it's yours.
Really?
Remember, Maya, my wallet doesn't print money, so you'd better polish off that plate.
I just remembered. I've gotta clean the toilet.
Hey! You can't be in that much of a hurry to clean the toilets.
Lunch special, Travian lunch special. Costs $20 despite how unbelievably bad it tastes. Yowza!
How does that guy manage to make good food taste so bad?
Hey Nick, you wanna take a peek at the kitchen?
The kitchen, huh? Not a bad idea. Now what was it that Maggie said again? In the kitchen, you'll get to see all the chef's great secrets?
In the kitchen? That sounds tasty.
Hey, wait up! Maya!
What is it? I'm pretty busy right now.
Weren't you going to show me around?
Tisk! There goes my plan to find some cool clue and show it off in your face.
I'd better conduct the search in the kitchen myself.
To the kitchen! January 6th, Trabian Kitchen. And here it is, the famous Trabian Kitchen. It's my first time in here too, actually.
There's a weird atmosphere in here, that's for sure.
Mr. Armstrong will be back soon, so we better search quickly. Chop chop! Alright, well... First of all,
Uh-huh.
now, I know I'm in a French restaurant. Never heard of most of these seasonings. Hey Nick, this container has oyster sauce? What's that?
Isn't that used in Chinese food? Ah, look! Right there on the counter!
My Magatama! What's it doing here?
What indeed?
Magatama put into pocket. I look at these knives, they look really sharp.
I'd like to see how one of those slices through a cheesecake.
A
Well, I want
cheesecake?
cheesecake!
Yeah, I want a cheesecake now. You don't exactly need a sharp knife for one of those, Nick. Yeah, does the... Why was the Magatama in here? Now this is one large mirror. I bet this is where he makes himself look pretty.
There's a book on the dresser. Clarice Armstrong's Bedtime Literature.
Not exactly Pulitzer Prize material, is it?
Looks like a collection of poems he's written.
Poems? Cool. Read one out. And say it in your best French accent. With intensity, okay?
Okay, here's one. Ahem. It's called Printemps. The two of them like actors from a film. The coffee's still undrunk. Sweet nothing's over too soon on that sad Sunday morning. The foolish cocktail so delicious. Take the last sip of your tea, and I know what I will do. I must lie to you. I must.
Huh? That's it?
Yep, that's a poem for you. I did great.
Perfection.
What's this? It looks like a treasure chest or something.
Wow, look at all these little bottles.
Whoa, they're aromatherapy oils. He's got so many, they're overflowing onto the floor.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 98, 99, 100. They're all the same, too. Hey, wait a minute.
What is it?
There's one bottle that's different from all the others.
Well, what do you know? And it doesn't have a label either.
And it doesn't smell.
So what's that liquid inside then, I wonder?
Hey, Nick, we should borrow this. I mean, look how many bottles he's got. He won't miss one, will he?
Doesn't sound like borrowing.
Borrowing.
What are these lace curtains for? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, but they give the place a real homey feel, don't they? Huh, nice curtains. You know, if I was a cooking pot, I'd be perfectly happy to sit on a shelf under those.
How do you respond to something like that?
I don't know. Mmm, that smells good. Something's bubbling away nicely in that pot. It must be the lobster and abalone fricassee with a balsamic vinaigrette.
Is that what I just ate for lunch?
Maybe. What you ate is the only French dish I know the name of. Well. One last, sweepy sweep. Anything else? Any secrets you have for me, Mr. Kitchen? Oh, January 6th, Vitamin Square.
The old guy's not here anymore. Drat. I still have some unanswered questions for him. A scooter, huh? You'd leave it right in the middle of a park like this. The wheel guard and the light are busted. I guess it must have been in an accident. It's totally wrecked. Whoa!
Hey, what you think you're doing with my bike?
No, I was just
You've been messing with my new ride? Is that what you've been doing?
new ride. Isn't that kind of an old ride?
Oh, you's gonna pay for this.
It wasn't me. I was just passing by.
Hey, then who's the one that said cover my saddle and crap, huh? Oh, you was gonna pay, you catch my drift?
No, wait a sec. I'm not a pigeon, so I couldn't have done it.
Hey, wise guy, huh? I had to beat you so hard, make you feel like you're smooching the express train.
Oh.
You's better watch your back. This ain't over. I'm gonna round up a group of lawyers and then you's gonna pay.
Actually, I'm a lawyer myself.
What'd you say?
I'm Phoenix Wright, attorney at law.
Phoenix, right? You saying you Phoenix, right?
Yeah, I am.
So you a wise guy too, huh? Cause I'm Phoenix, right? The one and only.
What?
Out of my way, I got a cruise.
He's gone. Surely that guy wasn't my phony. Was he? He wasn't even wearing a blue suit. He wasn't anything like me.
He was red!
Guess I better make a note of the scooter.
Scooter added to the court record.
Pathetic.
That accent is almost certainly a, extremely, Chinpira Yakuza accent. Like a, Ura, ura, time,
Yeah.
bukuruse.
Most deaf. Oh, it's you.
A few threats from a little brat like that. And you look like a pigeon who's got seeds in its eyes.
Have you been here the whole time then?
I was in that strawberry. I had some thinking to do.
More like you had some cowering to do. Are you a regular at that restaurant, sir? It's just that if you dislike it so much, why would you keep going there? Sir?
There you are, you filthy pigeons. You want food? Ha! Take that.
Oh, we're hydrating.
Oh! I knew it.
Two more hydrates.
Oh, God.
Drink your water, Renu.
Oh.
It has been drink.
Wow, there is nothing nicer than barley tea on a hot day, I gotta tell you.
This old guy has got something to hide, but what could it be? I love her.
She's very cute.
We do both hydrate. It is indeed a 2-for-1.
This is this is a 2-for-1 hydration deal. Ren is the only one who does it. Every time I play with the peanut gallery, nobody wants to drink with me whenever they make me hydrate. Right?
Cowards.
See that peanut gallery?
Allergic to water.
Okay. Let's see. You plead the fifth. You can also get a 2-for-1 chug. Yeah, unfortunately, that's probably true.
It's time you told me the truth. Why are you a regular at a restaurant that you dislike so much?
Isn't it obvious? People only have one reason to go to restaurants. To eat!
To eat? Is that the old truth?
Well, what do you mean?
I don't think you go to that restaurant for the food at all.
What, you insolent brat? How dare you accuse me? What proof have you got?
I can tell that not you nor anyone else in the world would go to that place for its food. The proof is in the pudding. Or in this case, the lunch menu.
That's the twin tea set.
The food at Trebian is terrible and expensive.
You're wrong. It's cheap.
Huh?
I'm rich. I inherited money when I was a boy. Yes, I'm stinking rich. I haven't done a jot of work since I was born, other than feeding the pigeons.
What a load of crock!
The taste's another story, but the price, it's nothing to me.
So you're saying that you go there because you've got money to burn?
Exactly. I have so much cash, I go for a swim in my money vault every day.
Unfortunately, that's a lie.
You normally only put hydrates in when you have just gotten water, but this time you hydrate with cider, which was a bad idea. Quick, let's steal his money. Yeah, right? Excuse me, sir, can you pay for my rent, please?
What?
You don't have money to burn. You're flat broke. This is yours, right?
My magazine.
Why would a rich retiree be looking for a job?
I was... Oh, so wild.
In eyes!
So I was looking for a job. I'm buying a lot at the moment. I need spending money.
Oh?
I don't go to that restaurant for food. I just go for the Javachino.
Yeah, I think you mean a cappuccino. Anyway, how much does a cappuccino cost there?
$8.
Those had better be some golden beans.
So what's your problem? You think a poor man would be better off drinking dishwater, do you? Is that it?
No, I wasn't thinking that. I was wondering if the coffee there is really that great.
No, it's not. But anyway, yes, that place has free newspapers to read every day.
Newspaper?
Exactly. They don't want me hanging around at home, so I go there.
I'm sorry, sir.
Sorry to hear that about you.
But there are no free papers to read at Très Bien.
Shit, we gave that to Gumshoe. Fuck.
Uh-oh. Booty!
Barely above Seattle prices once we built Sippin' Towers. That's true, but this was like... When did this game come out?
We had him on the ropes.
Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations was released in 2004 initially. When was it published in English? Oh, 2007 in North America, because that's when the DS version was released. Interesting. Yeah. I guess in 2007, that would have been an outrageous price for a cup of coffee. Oh, January 6th, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department.
Hey, you're just in time. What is it, Detective Gumshoe? The lab got back to me about that newspaper you gave me. Must mean the sports paper with the memo scribbled on it. So, what did they say? Did the analysis turn up anything? They said the doodle was written by the victim, Glenn Elg. No doubt about it. I expected as much.
Nearly 15 years ago in the US. Oh, don't tell me that. Oh no. I don't want to hear that. Oh.
The victim took the paper with him to the restaurant on the day of the murder. That's our best interpretation of the facts at the moment.
Sports paper refiled in the court record.
MC Bomber. I get the feeling I heard that name somewhere before. Oh well, I guess it'll come back to me. Don't forget to report back to me with whatever you find in the restaurant. Okay, pal? Since when did I start taking orders from Gumshoe? Although... I get the feeling there's something I need to show him. You got one of those aroma bottles too, huh? Only this one doesn't smell. Huh? I don't get you. This was mixed in with all the other aromatherapy bottles, but it's not the same. It doesn't even look the same. Wouldn't you agree? A cologne bottle that doesn't smell, huh? Smells like a skunk to me, pal. Mind letting me borrow that bottle for a while? I want to send it to the lab for analysis. The victim was poisoned, so the contents of this bottle are pretty important.
Small bottle, give it to Detective Gumshoe.
I had a hunch there was something funny about that chef. You suspect Gene Armstrong? I've got that guy's number. I know what his secret is.
Maybe it's drugs. Maybe the food is laced with drugs. Maybe that's why people keep coming back.
I guess I'd better fill you in on the details. About this Armstrong guy's secret, I mean.
Oh?
Let's go! So what's Mr. Armstrong's secret? You ever had lunch at Très Bien, pal? Yes, unfortunately. So how was it? To put it nicely, it was inedible. Hey, don't worry about being nice around me, pal. You and I both know the reason that place is so empty is because of the food. I mean, the place is clean, and he's got a girl like Maggie as a waitress, so...
Put drugs in the perfume to trick people into thinking the happy perfume works. Oh! that must be it.
Yeah, I guess it's probably the food.
That place is only allowed to stay open because of all the meth that gets created in the back.
The real scoop on the guy is he's up to his ears in debt.
Uh-oh.
Really? How much does he owe? This is a copy of his loan contract. He's about $500,000 in the red. Ooh! $500,000? Are we talking dollars? Not yen?
Not yen?
Yeah. Hey, if it was sterling, he'd really be in trouble. Sorry. That figure just took me by surprise. Yeah, this case is full of surprises. And I'd be willing to bet that chef's got something to do with most of them. That's my hunch.
Jean's loan contract added to the court record.
Hello, sir. I'm back to break some more psyche locks. But
Pat, pat. Smacking this dude around.
Papa.
Take a look at this.
What is it?
It's a newspaper I found behind the magazine rack at Trabian.
So, what of it?
This was the only paper there, and it's dated more than 1 month ago.
What?
Do you see what I'm getting at here? That restaurant doesn't get newspapers. This is just one that a customer happened to leave behind. Tell me, why are you so determined to hide the truth?
I'm not hiding anything.
I'm going to have to put this guy out of his misery. Listen, the real reason why you go so much to Trabian is
What are you asking me about that girl for?
she was the waitress at Trabian. Therefore, the answer to the mystery of why an old man would drink expensive coffee at a terrible restaurant is the waitress.
I don't recognize that face.
And you're probably telling the truth here.
But my Bushido!
Because you weren't looking at the girl's face, but at her outfit. That's the truth, isn't it?
Looks like some old guy needs to drink his respect women juice.
You became a regular at the restaurant because of the waitress's uniform. That uniform is all you can think about, isn't it?
I can't take it.
To you, that waitress was yours.
Enough, please, no more. Stop saying that word, stop saying waitress. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
Unlock successful.
Ooh. Sir?
Yes, it's true. I was there for the young girl. Fine, so I'm a dirty, wicked, sinful old devil.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
I even get one of those lousy cups of Javachino every time for $8. All because of the serving girl. Punish me, lock me up.
Really, that's not what I'm here for.
You'll be the same another 20 years and you'll understand what it's like. You'll know how painful it is to be an old man like me.
No, really. Listen, sir.
Stop calling me that. I have a name, you know, boy. So show me some respect, I'm Victor Kudo.
Sorry, Mr. Kudo.
You young ones think you know it all, don't you? Well, I'm not saying another word. I won't tell you anything more.
This guy was in the restaurant at the time of the incident. Which means I have to hear his testimony, one way or another. I don't believe this. I even broke his psyche locks and everything!
Yeah, Psyche Life got nothing against the stubbornness of an old man.
I guess I'll have to try to get him when he's in a better mood. Bring Maya.
Bring Maya. Oh, it's that old man. Is he still feeding the pigeons?
Yeah, he fed me as well. I got a bunch of those seeds in my eyes.
Oh, ow.
Hey, Maya. Would you mind coming with me for a while? Yes!
Huh? Me? Why?
There's something I really want to ask that old man.
Sure, okay. I'll just get changed.
No, hang on. Can you go like that?
I guess? Phoenix, what the fuck is this about?
Don't worry about it. Sir?
You again. Well. I see.
Nick, his eyes are burning into me.
It's fine.
As soon as you turn 40, you become a pervert. Yep.
It's okay. I think it's going pretty well. Huh?
You're still just a little child. Run along and play on the slide, alright?
Play on the
Thanks.
slide.
Well, at least he recognizes that she's a child. We were so close. Just a little more and you would have spilled.
Pigeon.
How can we crack this guy?
Excuse me, please, sir.
Quiet, can't you see I'm feeding the pigeon?
Oh! Mia!
Well,
If you don't mind, sir. I'd really love to talk with you.
yeah, yes. Of course, certainly. I'm Victor Kudo.
Even from beyond the grave. Wow. About the incident.
You mean the man who died after drinking the Javachino?
Like he's a different person.
It was quite a shock, even for me. He was a strange-looking boy. The girl took the Javachino over to him, you see.
And was the customer alone?
Definitely, he was the only person at the table, and he took one sip of his Javachino and he said something like, "Ah!" and then collapsed, dead.
Oh, how terrifying.
You're so good at listening, aren't you? I'll tell you anything, whatever you want to know.
He certainly seems to be telling the truth now. But it looks like Mr. Kudo didn't see this other man either. Do you like the food at Trebian?
Well, of course. I'm really quite a sophisticated man. I was a young businessman once, you know. I set up a casino in London.
Really? How interesting.
Shouldn't have bothered with the psyche lock. Just bring some titties.
Eating the food at that restaurant really takes me back to my days in France.
What a lovely story. London's in England, not France.
Oh, yes, France is wonderful. I'd love to show you around the city sometime. It's too much. I can't take it. I want France.
Can't believe Mia's laughing at the guy. You visit Trebian a lot, don't you?
Of course. I mean, yes. I'd like to come and see you there.
Really? Oh, you flatter me so. The owner would be delighted to welcome you, I'm sure.
Be careful of that shelf, my dear.
The chef? You mean Mr. Armstrong?
That's right. The man's an ex-con.
He's an ex-con? Whatever did Mr. Armstrong do?
Oh, no, those eyes. I can't take this.
He has really got this guy eating out of her hand.
He steals things from his customers.
From his customers?
Looks into camera. Gloves, handkerchief, little things mainly. He's a pilferer, so you be careful around him too, my dear.
Are you sure about this?
Of course. He was arrested for it once. I was there when it happened, having my Javachino.
He really is a regular.
Let me write you a little haiku about it.
A haiku?
A Japanese poem. It'll explain all you need to know about that chef.
Victor's note added to the court record.
Convicted before. A wicked man or woman. Repeat offender.
Victor Kudo.
If he takes anything again, you let me know.
If it's not too expensive, I'll buy you a replacement.
Poor guy, he couldn't do enough for Mia.
This is the kind of guy that simps over VTuber.
Okay, Phoenix. That's about as much as I can do to help. Thanks, Mia. We got some really important information, thanks to you. Honestly, I can't believe Maya called me for something like this.
Maya's a quick thinker. Tell you what. January 6th, Tribune. I guess it's about time to wrap up today's investigation.
Had enough of being a waitress?
Yeah, plus no one came to the restaurant, so I didn't get to do any waitressing. Oh la la, Mademoiselle Maya. Non, how can you leave me like this? I'm sorry.
That reminds me. Mr. Armstrong had a psyche lock or 3, didn't he? I'm going to have to break those. Mr. Armstrong. I hope you won't mind, but I'd like to have another word with you.
Volunteer, of course.
Take that!
Take that! Bada, bada, bada. What is happening? I do not like this horrible feeling.
I have to know the truth. What happened that day?
Hello, hello. I will confess everything. Just don't hurt me.
Huh? Well, that was a new world record.
It was a lottery ticket.
A lottery ticket?
The man who died here, the lottery ticket. For $500,000.
Whoa. $500,000?
Oui, but after the incident, this ticket... it disappeared.
The ticket disappeared.
This was the motive that the prosecution gave for Maggie. They said that she poisoned the man to get $500,000 lottery ticket.
Why didn't you tell me about this sooner?
My look.
You've been trying to hide this information about the lottery ticket from me. And I want to know the reason why.
It's because someone stole a $500,000 lottery ticket, that's why. No, monsieur, you doubt me, but I have confessed to you everything I know.
Mr. Armstrong, the $500,000 lottery ticket. I think I know who took it. I think the winning ticket was stolen by this person. Mr. Armstrong, I believe there's a very high probability that it was you. Wow, that was one piercing scream, even for a man like him.
Oh, I guess I should have I should have put some more into it. Mais pourquoi moi? You have no evidence. I am not masked. I'm not the kind of person who steals the property of others.
Sorry to disappoint you, Mr. Armstrong, but I have evidence to the contrary. I present to you proof that you have stolen from others in the past.
Wait, what? He stole our Magatama!
Oh!
Well, perhaps duck would be nice. A tree, maybe. I was just thinking about my lunch menu. Terrain de Cana. What do you think?
That sounds lovely.
Hello, au revoir, monsieur. I must go to buy the ingredients.
My evidence is a bit of a lame duck.
What is this? A poem? Oh, monsieur, you know me so well. I adore poems.
Please read it and put some feeling into it.
Convicted before, a wicked man or woman. Repeat offender.
I'm sorry to have to bring it up, Mr. Armstrong, but you have been arrested for stealing from your customers before, haven't you?
Mon Dieu! Le mensonge, you are the liar!
You deny it?
Do not make la false accusation, s'il vous plaît. So, do you have any proof? I want to see la incontestable proof that I have ever stolen from one of my customers. Oh, now he presents a Magatama.
It seems old habits die hard, Mr. Armstrong.
What is that?
This is my Magatama. And I found it in your kitchen.
No!
Wow, that scream just about broke some windows.
We...
I have a weakness for the little trinkets and the figurines. And it just slips out. I cannot stop it.
You've stolen handkerchiefs, gloves, and other things from your customers, right?
Oui, it is the truth. I am just a timid little girl inside, monsieur, a timid little girl. Besides, this time it was not a small trinket, oui, it was $500,000. Man, no, why would I steal it? I have no need for such money.
Really now?
Oh, monsieur, what is it?
Isn't it true that you're in some pretty serious trouble? And that you are in desperate need of a large amount of cash? This restaurant is deep in the red, isn't it? You have a loan to the tune of $500,000. That lottery ticket would have wiped out your debts. Well, Mr. Armstrong, what do you have to say for yourself now?
Health points.
Mr. Armstrong, you said that the victim had a winning lottery ticket for $500,000. How did you know he had something like that in the first place?
The man, he was listening to the radio. Is this a piece?
Huh. Maggie said something about that too.
The winning number was announced on the news, I think. All of a sudden, he exploded. Yes, $500,000, he shouted.
And the ticket?
Oui, he had all of his tickets spread out on the table. I was so desperately in need of money, so I...
Put the poison in his coffee?
No. Oh, no, you naughty man. I simply helped myself to one of his tickets. What? The victim collapsed and Maggie passed out. I thought to myself, pourquoi pas? He had so many of them.
Yeah, but only one of them was the winning ticket, right?
How could you do that, Mr. Armstrong? Maggie was arrested because of you. No, this is not true. It's a little bit true. I did not take it. The ticket for $500,000. I mean. But you just told us you did. You said you took a ticket. No, my fee. It was not. That's enough. Huh? Huh?
Oh!
Mr. Gatto!
What in the heck are you doing here?
Ugh. This is without a doubt the worst coffee I have ever tasted, Mr. Armstrong.
Oh no. You came in here for coffee? Does his craving for coffee know no bounds?
Perhaps Mr. Armstrong stole one of the victim's tickets on the day in question.
I am la Ed, no, just a pretty little girl who everyone is laughing at. But in that case, Maggie shouldn't be the only one under suspicion.
He had the wrong ticket.
What?
Mr. Armstrong made off with the winning ticket's pretty neighbor.
So the ticket he took was worthless?
Not quite. He did win something. $1.
You see, I am just a pretty face. Without my looks, I have nothing.
Oh. What happened to the winning ticket then? The one he meant to steal?
Indeed. What did happen to it? I don't like spoiling myself by watching trailers, so we'll just wait and see how the movie turns out tomorrow, won't we? And there he goes.
Wow.
Voila, you two. Time to laugh at the pretty little Ed.
Looks like I won't be needing this note anymore.
Victor's note thrown in the trash.
Wow.
Whoa!
Looks like we've got a new mystery now. Namely, where did the winning ticket go?
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Well, anyway. We can't let Maggie suffer any longer for this. And certainly not again.
To be continued.
Woo!
wild start to a case. So how are we doing, Renu? Tired?
I'm good.
You good? You good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, in that case, let's take a little breakerino, a little recess, and then we can start the trial.
Woo!
Okay, I'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let's put on some music. Oh, here, I'll play for you the Fragrance of Dirk coffee, the Turnabout Jazz version.
Yes.
And hopefully I won't get copyright struck to oblivion. Enjoy.
No. well.
All right, are we ready to continue?
Mm-hmm.
Very well. I just had to draw some water, so it took a little longer than I expected. January 7th, 9:48 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 1. I had to fill this pitcher with water so I could make some more barley tea.
Okay. Oh, I see. I guess I should have expected this. Nobody saw the other guy, huh? But he was there when I took the coffee over, sir. Scout's honor.
Maggie!
Ah, Detective Gumshoe!
Yes, a pitcher of water.
Are you doing all right? How you feeling? As if you need to ask either question, sir. Don't let him get you down, Maggie. And don't forget to eat well, okay? Oh.
That's a lot of
God.
hydrating.
3 more. Hang on, Maggie. And you. Yes? You'd better square this case away. Got it, pal. Maggie's innocent, you hear? If you screw up, then I'll be doing some squaring away myself. Squaring away some paperwork for your arrest. I think he's serious.
Hey, detective. You're on our side for once, right? As you hydrate with more cider, you should probably drink some water, too.
Yep.
So, you'll be able to help Maggie out, right?
Really? Can you, sir? Of course. I got the situation under control.
That's definitely it. Yup.
Yep. I'm gonna be the first witness on the stand today. If something I say doesn't mesh with the facts, make sure you point it out, all right? Sure. Okay, we're forming a united front today, pal. You get me?
Woo!
Huh? I can't tell you how grateful I am, sir.
You have to finish the cider to get water. Oh, big brain.
I've always admired you so much, Detective. I know I can count on you.
Looks like it should all go pretty smoothly today, huh?
I can only wish.
January 7th, 10 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 4. Hey, look, it's Phoenix Wright. He looks shorter than normal. And less red.
Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Less red this time.
Hold on. Let me bitter.
Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? Oh. What's wrong? Nothing, it's just whenever I addressed you in the previous trial, your response was, "You're talking to me?" It was a little, well, intimidating. No, that wasn't me. That was the phony Phoenix. I see, so our trusty Phoenix Wright is back with us now, is he? Our trusty? Y'all didn't even recognize it wasn't me!
The cider needs to be poured from a height, which you're pretty good at. But it gets people. Wait, why does it have to be poured from a height? I am curious.
So, Mr. Gatto, your opening statement, please.
Mr. Trite, whether you're a fake or the real deal, we will find out soon enough through this trial today.
But I can already tell you, I'm the real Phoenix Wright.
I wasn't questioning whether you are Phoenix Wright or not. I was questioning whether you had studied law or not.
Oh! Oh! My God.
Oh my
We didn't come here for this.
He's
We
coming
really-
out swinging! My guy, it's been 5 minutes!
Bro, we just like...
That's what I intend to find out.
Yeah, we're trying to overcome an impersonator and then you just had to come out like that.
Oh my god. Jesus.
There's no denying it. Behind that mask is a man who really hates me for some reason or another. As everyone is aware, the court has already given its verdict on this case once. Therefore, I won't stand for irrelevant testimony during this retrial. Nor will I stand for a simple repetition of the evidence presented in the last trial. I'm not planning on repeating anything that phony me said. Trust me. Now then, Mr. Gatto, please summon your first witness. Oh.
Let's start with the formalities, shall we? Name and occupation.
Witness, state your name for the court. Huh? Oh, sorry, sir. The name's Police Department Detective. Occupation, Dick Gumshoe.
Oh, gumshoe. Other way around, detective.
Huh? Oh, sorry. Anyway, I'm the officer in charge of this case since yesterday, sir. Since yesterday? Yeah. The guy who was on the initial investigations tied up with another case now.
I hope Gumshoe's really got everything under control, for everyone's sake.
I see. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you outline for the court the basic facts of the case? Yes, sir. The victim's name was Glenn Elg. He was a professional programmer. He was on the payroll of Blue Screens Inc., a local company. This is the victim's autopsy report. The court accepts this into evidence.
Glenn's autopsy report added to the court record.
Clover, drop it.
Oh no. Spanish cider is employed from a height 2 to 3 feet to help volatilize the acetic acid and open up the aroma because it isn't very fizzy. Ooh, that's interesting. I've never experienced that.
And here are the floor plans of the restaurant. She's sulking now. She was chewing on a cable.
Oh no.
Yeah. When the incident took place, the victim was sitting right here. The poisoned coffee was brought over to him by the waitress. The waitress being the accused? Yeah.
It is.
The victim died from poisoning almost immediately after he took a sip of the coffee. At the time of the incident, there were 2 other people in the restaurant.
Kind of makes me want a cider. There's one sitting in my fridge right now.
Oh. Mr. John Armstrong, the owner and chef, and a regular by the name of Mr. Victor Kudo.
There's a cidery in Oregon called Son of Man, which makes really good Basque-style cider, which is what you're drinking. Ooh, okay, I'll keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
It still seems to be a very straightforward case to me.
Très bien, floor plan added to the court record. Come, detective, take up this hammer and nail the defendant's coffin shut with your own 2 hands. But I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, let's have your testimony. Yes, sir.
Witness testimony.
When the incident took place, the victim was alone at his table, sir. We understand that the guy, Glenn Elg, was listening to the radio at the time. Traces of poison were found in his coffee cup. And what we found was potassium cyanide. That stuff really packs a punch. And, it looks like Miss Bird might have had, well, some kind of a motive.
Using the dark, aromatic depths of coffee to conceal the poison. Classy lady.
The facts of this case seem to be ironclad. Mr. Wright, I would ask you to begin your cross-examination, but... Yes? Please, no intimidation tricks this time around. Is that understood? That scary accent, it really got to me. I already told you, that wasn't me!
Why would Phoenix Wright do this? Let's see.
Can I stop you for just a minute?
Can we have a game playing as Yakuza Phoenix? That'd be so funny. Also, there's a line in Project Cross Zone 2 where Phoenix and Majima have an interaction where it's just like, "Hey, thanks for getting me off of that charge, buddy. And now I want that case. I want the Phoenix Wright Yakuza crossover."
Yes.
Yakuza Phoenix is just Judgment. Yeah.
I mean, yes, as well. What is it? Did I say something that contradicts the evidence? He's so desperate for that to be true, he's practically crying. Your testimony just now doesn't match the testimony given by Miss Bird. She claims that there was another man at the victim's table. Yeah, that's what she said, and
What killer wouldn't say that when faced with a homicide conviction?
Hey!
Judgment is fine. You wish you got to finish it. I actually know nothing about Judgment because.
Really? I'm almost done with it. I'm in the final
Yeah,
chapter.
I know you've been playing through it. I have. I don't know if you have like the VODs or anything, but like I just have not.
Oh,
been able-
I
'cause
only
you
have
always-
some of the VODs.
Yeah, I kind of figured. It's because you always play it during my D&D day.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, so I'm always occupied during that exact time slot, and I'm just like, no, I want to watch Judgment. Sadly, her testimony isn't supported by the owner or the other customer. Isn't that right, Detective Gumshoe?
It's true. Their two testimonies tie up on that.
Yeah, Renu streams. You should go watch Renu.
No, Toto Mateo.
No Matang right here. No Matang. Here, take this.
Oh,
Take that!
Oh, you! Wow. I stream on Friday evenings.
Mm-hmm.
They both said that there was no other guy at the table.
Renu streams on Friday evenings and sometimes other times on the weekend. Does art, plays Judgment.
Oh my god.
It's a good
Alright,
time.
you didn't need to go this far. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not?
Maybe.
Well, maybe the other witnesses just missed him. Perhaps their view of the victim's table was obscured in some way.
Huh. That argument is as weak as the coffee at Trebien, trite.
What?
I have here in my possession a ticket.
Ticket? Looks more like a photo to me.
Yes, a one-way ticket to Guiltyville. Population,
Wow.
the defendant.
Wow, alright.
This is a photograph taken from near the entrance to the kitchen. This is the scene as witnessed by the chef, moments after the poisoning took place, correct? Oh, that was the judge. Whoops.
Sounds right.
I think the court will agree that with such a clear view of the scene of the crime. How, Mr. Trite, could anyone have overlooked a second person at the table?
Ah!
Hey, he's got a point. Wow, this Phoenix Wright sucks just as much as the other one.
It certainly seems to show the victim's table extremely clearly.
Crime photo added to the court record.
He was listening to his radio, you say? Yeah, he had a portable radio in his chest pocket.
Maggie told us that too, didn't she? Something about how one of them had some sort of earpiece.
What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? And what was it that the victim was listening to on the radio, Detective Gumshoe?
It was a child, shorter than the chair back. It must have been a little itty bitty baby.
Huh? How should I know? Thanks a lot. We're now one step closer to the middle of nowhere.
This isn't going very well, is it?
Detective, could you perhaps tell us about the poison and how it was used?
So, traces of the poison were found in the coffee cup, and nowhere else? Not sure I get you, pal. Was the poison a liquid, or was it a powder? If I had to put it in layman's terms, I'd say it was a powdery substance. So the poison could have been in anything that was on the table. Sugar, salt, pepper.
Huh. Do you put salt and pepper in your coffee, Trite?
The victim took his coffee black, with no sugar. Ugh.
It seems the poison could have only been in the coffee.
What should I do? Should I press on this point or not? Are you absolutely certain that the victim even drank any of his coffee? Huh? What do you mean? Clover, leave it.
Could have been in the coffee grounds.
According to this file, the poison was found in the victim's coffee cup. But what proof is there that the victim ever drank any of it? Oh hey, you're right. That's what I was thinking.
In case you were wondering, that last objection was for the detective there.
Huh? For me? Oh.
Oh, hey, you're right. You may be fooling the court, but I'm not falling for it. If you have the time to waste, you have the time to present that piece of evidence.
That piece, sir?
Yes, that piece.
What piece was it again?
This.
Why? Why? Should I be grateful this coffee is only hot enough to give me first-degree burns? Oh, now I remember. This is the victim's coffee cup.
Yes, the victim's cup. Take a good look at the rim. Gumshoe in your blue wall of silence. Jesus.
Oh, yes, it's unmistakable. There is clearly a coffee stain on it.
Conclusive proof that the victim did drink the poisoned coffee that was in his cup. The victim gulped down the bitter death that the waitress brought to him. Like this. Dude, that dude just chugged his coffee! Oh my god!
Oh. For the record, the only prints on the cup were the victims and the defendants.
I like to imagine there's just a team of interns that has to sit there making coffee. Like all throughout the entire case. Like just every trial, they're just like, okay, Mr. Gato wants some more coffee. Slide him a cup.
Keep it coming.
Oh, he's chugging. He's chugging. Pour the next one. Pour the next one.
Upon further investigation of this cup, we found a certain chemical substance. Potassium cyanide? I've heard of that chemical before. Exactly how strong is this poison, Detective Gumshoe?
Yeah, we have Maya Godot as a barista. It's true.
Well, that stuff's lethal.
It will kill you.
Yeah. Eat too much, and you're history.
How much is too much? A lethal dose is 0.2 grams. That's about enough to finish anyone off. 0.2 grams? How much is that?
You know when you swab your ears for earwax? Yeah, about that much.
It's very
Why
specific.
is that? Earwax, huh? Sounds like something Gumshoe's got an abundance of. What are you why?
Wow. He has the big Osan energy.
Such a small quantity of poison could have been concealed anywhere.
Some kind of a motive? Yeah, but if you ask me, it's been blown way out of proportion.
Objection!
You know what my golden rule is, detective? Chuck out a bad cup of coffee. You can always get another.
I don't get it.
I'm saying we can always get another witness on the stand if we have to chuck you out. So stick to the facts, detective. Now then, what was Miss Bird's motive?
Come on, Gumshoe. They said she wanted to steal a lottery ticket. I knew it. That's what we heard yesterday, too. It disappeared from the scene of the crime.
And it wasn't just any lottery ticket. It was a winning ticket for $500,000. $500,000? Wow. In dollars?
Or yen!
Or yen. One of those is much more impressive. Mr. Armstrong knew about the ticket too, didn't he? But he stole the wrong one.
Then, is it possible Maggie stole the winning one? What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not?
$500,000 in sterling.
Wait a minute. The mere fact that the lottery ticket disappeared in no way implicates my client.
Ha. I have here in my hand the very ticket in question.
That's the $500,000 lottery ticket?
One of the female police officers found it when she was conducting a search of the defendant. What?
Wow, why didn't anyone say that earlier?
Order! Order!
She's quite a lucky bird, our little waitress.
You will submit that ticket as evidence to the court immediately.
And make sure I can see the numbers.
Bring my glasses.
I'd better keep an eye on that ticket. The way the judge's voice is quivering.
This ticket was presented to the court in the previous trial, too.
The judge is like, if I had that ticket, I could retire. I wouldn't have to listen to any of these trials anymore.
But it feels heavier now, somehow. $500,000, you say?
It's just a scrap of paper. What matters is where it was found, Your Honor.
And that's on Maggie's person, unfortunately.
That's enough. The facts of this case seem overwhelmingly clear to me. The defendant had ample opportunity to commit the crime of which she is charged. Furthermore, it seems beyond reasonable doubt that she did indeed commit this crime.
I like an old man who knows the score.
There's also the matter of the $500,000 lottery ticket. That alone provides a very credible motive. I mean, for that sum of money, even I might be tempted to bend the rules.
Your Honor! I don't mind an old man who is weak to the siren call of money.
Not good, Nick. The evidence against Maggie's starting to pile up fast. And look at the judge's eyes. He's definitely gonna take the ticket. We have to take it first. You can pay all your back rent.
Oh. Yeah, that's because the court has ruled guilty once already.
I'd say it's about time to wrap up this repeat performance with one final decisive piece of evidence.
He's got more evidence against Maggie?
This is the apron the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time.
Wow, that is not the cleanest apron I've seen.
That stain looks like... It can't be blood, can it?
Phoenix can finally pay off his student loans.
It seems the star of our play was a little flustered and somehow spilled coffee on herself.
The coffee? That's not exactly the first thing that caught my eye.
Of course, the coffee stain isn't the most interesting thing about this apron. No, there's something else that stands out even more.
Something else? I presume you mean.
Of course, I'm referring to the pocket.
The pocket?
A search carried out right after the incident uncovered this. Potassium cyanide, the very poison used by the killer, was in her apron pocket.
Bottle of poison. In Maggie's pocket? Yeah, and Maggie's prints were the only ones on it. Oh my god.
Wow.
What?
Wow, I've never seen a more guilty lady.
Oh! Maybe it wasn't so much that the defense sucked, but that there was just so much evidence.
Right?
Order! 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 The court will accept these items into evidence.
Apron added to the court record. Potassium cyanide added to the court record.
There's something still bothering me, Mr. Gatto. Why have you not explained the blood stain to the court?
Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be?
Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron.
That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a blood stain.
You don't need to be told. Just look at it.
Well, detective, could this stain really be blood?
No way, sir. It's just ketchup, sir. Ketchup? You must have gotten some on her apron while taking someone their breakfast that day.
You could have spoken up a little sooner, Detective Gumshoe.
You had us all worried. Pull a stunt like that again and I'll have you drink 17 cups of ketchup, witness.
Wow. Oh my god, that's terrible.
Awful.
I thought everyone knew what it was already.
Nobody knew what it was, Detective Gumshoe.
I haven't seen anything yet to make me doubt the last ruling I made on this case.
Bert, leave it!
Cruel and unusual, Mr. Godot. Yeah, that's true.
The motive, the opportunity, and the supporting evidence.
I think forcing someone to drink cups of ketchup is a war crime classified under the Geneva Convention.
They have all been clearly established.
Well, Trite, It seems you really are a phony after all.
You really know how to drive a man nuts.
Witness, please continue with your testimony. Describe for the court the crime scene and the findings of your investigation there.
The investigation.
The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir.
Yes, we are familiar.
Poor Maggie had passed out from the shock. It must have been real tough for her. The victim didn't have any identification on him. But we figured out who he was pretty quick, and then the investigation went smoothly.
You have a craving for hash browns with ketchup? Ooh, hash browns sound really good right now. One sec, I'm gonna put this picture in the
Yeah.
fridge.
Hash brown.
Okay, I'm back.
When Maggie was searched, we found the lottery ticket and the bottle of poison. And that was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene.
You identified the victim and secured your prime suspect. Very good.
Last chance to convince the court you're a real lawyer, Trite. Don't count on any more cross-examinations after this one. So, let the fun begin.
Scary old man, Detective Gumshoe? There's an old man who's a regular at the restaurant where the incident happened. Ah, we're obviously talking about the same old man. Officers were dispatched right after the report came in, but the old guy still made a fuss. What took you so long? Then he hurled abuse at them. And seeds.
So many seeds.
Seeds.
Ha! It was nothing. I caught each one with my teeth.
Wow! I guess not even the mighty Gato can avoid being attacked by that guy.
Nom, 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 nom. The old man was the only other customer in the place at the time. He took his time finding a payphone, apparently, so he was late reporting the crime.
How long was the defendant unconscious for? The officers got to the crime scene at around 2:40. Maggie was still out cold in the kitchen at that time. It took another 10 minutes or so before she came to. I would have liked to have been on the scene myself. I bet you would have liked to have carried out the search too.
Wow.
I would have loved to see Maggie asleep like that, all pretty and peaceful. Oh, Gumshoe! You're a professional detective, Gumshoe, not a professional bird watcher.
Save the romantics for your own time, detective. All we need to know about is the investigation.
Oops. I guess I'm pretty red right now, aren't I? You didn't have any? Are you saying that it was stolen then? Down!
Oh my.
No, I don't think so. The victim didn't have a driver's license or even a credit card on him, pal. All he had was 58 cents in his wallet. $58? Yeah, I can't believe I found someone with less in their wallet than me, pal.
Wow.
Your victim sounds like he was a thoroughly miserable young man.
Or some kind of outlaw. Why not give him a bit of an edge?
I think I'm onto something here. Wait a sec. Huh? Did I say something dumb again? Let me paraphrase what you just testified to this court. The victim didn't have any form of ID on him. That's basically what you said, yes? Yeah, basically. In that case, how were you able to identify the victim so quickly? Oh, that. He's so let down, he's got the whole sagging shoulders and puppy eyes thing going. There was a prescription bag on the victim's table, along with a lottery ticket.
It seems Mr. Glenn Elg visited his doctor before he went to Trebienne.
We got the victim's name from the medical records of the doc who prescribed the meds.
That's a reliable enough source for the court.
What should I do? Should I leave this alone or ask to hear more? So what sort of medicine was in the bag? Well... Actually, the bag we found was empty.
Interesting.
Huh? Yeah, completely empty. It was completely empty?
Victim's prescription bag. Huh. You're entering an empty paper bag as evidence? Desperate, are you, Trite? Now, what happened with the investigation after that, Detective?
But the defendant had been passed out for a while, correct? In that case, isn't it possible someone planted the evidence in Maggie's pocket? Hey! Yeah! You nailed it, pal! It happens to me all the time.
Oh my.
We had a department party the other day. When I got home, I was wearing the boss's shoes.
Objection!
Keep up this crazy testimony, Detective, and those shoes will end up down your throat.
Wow.
Wow.
Sorry.
So, Trite, someone planted the evidence in Maggie's pocket. That's a pretty bold statement. Care to back it up with some evidence?
Well, I'd love to, if I had any.
It appears you have no evidence to support your theory, Mr. Wright. Continue with your testimony, witness.
So the $500,000 lottery ticket and the bottle of poison were accounted for. Yeah. Interesting. It's true that those two items are accounted for. But wasn't there another lottery ticket that was stolen that day? Oh yeah, the one the restaurant owner took. He went a whole dollar with it. What a lucky guy, huh? And they're just going to let him get away with it?
It was just $1, Detective.
I guess no one cares when it's that little. Except for Gumshoe. I mean, that's like a whole day's worth of eating for him, I think.
If I don't find a hole in this testimony, the judge is going to hand down his verdict.
Gumshoe isn't giving us anything to work with. And we can't find any contradictions if he doesn't give us something.
Yeah, that's true. But Maggie and Gumshoe are dumb, are like Dumb and Dumber. Wow!
Wow.
Our only hope is that they were so dumb they missed something obvious.
Come on, Gumshoe, be the dumbest you've ever been! I kind of want to ask about that other thing. Probably this.
Detective Gumshoe, I think I should point something out to you. There is just one small contradiction in your testimony. Oh, finally! I'm getting all anxious just waiting, so hurry up, will you?
Oh man.
You testified that nothing else was missing from the crime scene.
Finally, we've been waiting, Mr. Right.
However, the prescription bag you mentioned was empty. Did the officers recover the medicine from the scene of the crime later? No, they didn't. The victim was given a prescription right before going to Trebien. Where, then, did the medicine disappear to? You are too cool, pal! Indeed! Due consideration wasn't given to the victim's prescription in the previous trial. Witness, why do you always overlook such vital pieces of evidence?
Why would Gumshoe do this?
I guess that's the most careless thing I've done so far, huh? The victim was killed by poison, and the victim's medicine mysteriously disappeared. The victim's own prescription could have been the lethal poison itself. Why did he have poison prescribed to him?
I don't think you get prescriptions for potassium cyanide.
Order. Well, Mr. Gatto, what do you have to say to that?
Huh. That's all.
What?
Read for the court the name of the clinic on the prescription bag, if you will.
What's the clinic's name got to do with anything? New ear otolaryngological? Oh man. I'm in the medical field and I can't even pronounce this.
Otolaryngological.
Otolaryngological. Just what kind of illness was the victim suffering from, Mr. Gatto?
Hardly an illness, Your Honor. More like a bitter war wound, you could say.
A war wound?
The day before the incident, Mr. Elg found himself in a fight. He took a blow to the side of the head and ruptured his eardrum.
He ruptured his eardrum? Then what on earth was the prescription he was given?
It was a cream that was to be applied topically inside his ear canal, not to be ingested.
What?
Ew, ear cream. It's mentioned in the autopsy report if you read the fine print, which you're not allowed to. Found traces of the medication in the victim's left ear.
Yeah, so here it is. In the part that you didn't read, in very, very fine print.
It seems Mr. Elg correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Trebien. Ew. Don't apply your medicine in the middle of a restaurant. Therefore, it would be absurd to believe that he would have eaten his medication.
It seems that this medication is irrelevant to the case after all. No!
Nick, if you don't think of something quick, it'll all be over.
She's right. It's always like this. I can't get away with any old weak objection. What should I do?
Ear medicine. I guess we could try it.
Only moments ago, Mr. Gatto made the following statement. It seems Mr. L correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Trebien. If that's the case, then why was the medication not found at the scene of the crime? Ooh. But the medication in question was for topical use inside the ear canal. That doesn't change the fact that it could not be found at the crime scene. However insignificant it may seem, it's a lawyer's duty to pursue the truth. Objection! Man's ear canal medication.
You know as well as I do that the medication is irrelevant. It hardly seems likely that a prescription drug would contain potassium cyanide.
It hardly seems likely that the coffee the waitress served would contain it either. But it did. The possibility is undeniable. Oh! Pew 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 pew. That's enough. Mr. Gatto, is the detective the only witness the prosecution wishes to call? Mr. Gatto? I got my own witness I'd like to call, sir. It's the old man who was there in the restaurant on the day of the murder. Victor Kudo? The Pigeonator?
What a title.
Oh, very well. The matter of the disappearing medication seems little more than trivial at best. However, it wasn't explored at all in the previous trial. And that is something that bothers me.
Yay, good job, Nick.
Foot in the door. Woo. The court will adjourn for a 10-minute recess, after which we will hear the prosecution's next witness.
Ah. I suppose this means I'll just have to finish you off in my last 6 cups.
Court is adjourned for recess.
Bop. January 7th, 11:03 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1. So he said last 6 cups. He drinks 17 in a case. That does mean that in the last hour and 3 minutes, he has consumed 11 cups of coffee.
Uh-huh.
Whew, that was close.
Tell me about it. I nearly died in there. That's my line, sir.
No, it's my line. I think I really did die a little bit. Jesus.
Looks like we all nearly died in there.
You've been there? Yeah, I've been there too. It was called college.
I can't believe Detective Gumshoe. How could he betray us like that?
Huh?
He said he'd help me, but he totally set me up. I don't think he meant to do that, Maggie. He was backed into a corner. I mean, the guy's got to do his job, right? It's okay. I know all about lies and betrayal. I've had them my whole life. But it really hurt this time. It felt like someone punched me hard in the stomach.
Your personal record was 11 shots of espresso in a day. That is a lot of
Oh
coffee.
my god.
A lot of caffeine. What's the most caffeine I've ever had in a day? I think... Huh. I think I try not to go over like 400 to 500 milligrams of caffeine. I do think that like probably I think I've hit 8. Ugh. Went to a double at a cafe, then went to go play. Yeah, it'll do that, I suppose. Sometimes you just gotta vibe with your friends. Ugh, a double.
I hate that guy. I don't ever want to see him again. Or Gumshoe.
So the next witness is going to be that old guy from the park, right?
Yeah, Mr. Kudo. Lover of waitress outfits and projectile seeds. I bet he's gonna be really stubborn. I mean, he's pretty set in his ways, you know?
One of your new coworkers volunteered to go play? Wow, small world. That's like, yeah. I get that too. Yeah, he's a big old grouch. Are you going to be able to handle him, Nick? That's like, yeah. I recently had someone reach out to me, and it was just like, yeah, congratulations on working out the pies and stuff. I'm like, oh, cool, thanks.
Yeah, I can take whatever he throws at me, even those never-ending bird seeds.
January 7th, 11:15 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4.
Back at it with the Krispy Kreme.
Oh man.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Maggie Bird. Mr. Gatto, your next witness, please.
The prosecution calls the lucky old-timer who caught the show over a cup of coffee. Will the witness please take the stand? Name and occupation, if you don't mind. The name is Victor Kudo, born and bred in the land of the rising sun. Honor and duty are what make me. Mind you, I can be quite emotional at times, too.
We don't need to hear about that, Mr. Kudo. Just tell the court your occupation.
My occupation?
Oh.
Listen, young'un, how much do you think there is for kimono embroidery here?
Kimono embroidery?
That's what I do. What I did back in Japan, I embroidered family crests on kimonos. My ancestors were embroidering kimonos before this country even existed. Wow, a real craftsman. They're a dying breed, you know. Hey, maybe you could embroider my costume sometime. Anyway, like I said, there's not much demand for that kind of thing here. So I had to take a job working the cash register at a burger joint, pretending to smile.
Here. That burger joint would have been better off putting him in the kitchen.
Now then, witness, were you in the restaurant at the time of the incident?
Oh, yes, I was eating some seeds over a cup of Javachino.
Seeds?
What do you think these are,
I see.
So you saw everything that happened, Gramps? Did I? Oh, yes, I did. I saw it all. Then please, tell the court. We're all ears. Sure. I'll tell you every last detail.
It's really getting into this.
Witness testimony. What I witnessed. The young man was reading the sports paper. And the servant girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. The man took one sip of it, looked like he was in terrible pain, and then collapsed. That's the servant girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well.
Mr. Kudo, she's not a serving girl. Please refer to her as a waitress.
Ugh, you're as bad as the rest of them. All these newfangled words, what's wrong with the old-fashioned ones,
Newfangled? I'm as old as you.
All this talk of radios and glasses, it's wireless and spectacles, I tell you.
Excuse me?
Listen to me, everyone. Don't forget the old values. Don't let the good old days slip away.
Well, I think it's time to begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. I think that man is older than I am.
This is a country that is not Japan, but has old Shinto shrines. Yeah, apparently, I think the official explanation is that it's basically just an alternate universe United States where there were more Japanese immigrants.
Yes, Your Honor.
At least for the localization.
Mm-hmm. So you saw the victim then? You saw Mr. Glen Elg?
Is Mr. Kudo a fascist? What are these old days? I wanted to know if Goodson Braun retained his championship or not.
So he was looking at the sports paper the victim was reading, huh? And at the location in question. There are partitions between tables on the same side of the restaurant, right?
So what if there are?
If you say that you could see the victim, that means you were sitting at a table on the other side of the restaurant, correct?
I go to that place to drink Javachino. I don't go to sit. I don't remember which table I was sitting at.
You mean you go there to eye the waitress?
Mr. Kudo is a boomer.
Mr. Kudo, that is a very grave accusation. Are you sure about what you saw?
Victor Kudo never makes mistakes. I dot every T and cross every I.
Uh-huh. I see.
My eyesight's fine. The doctor said I only need spectacles for reading and driving.
And his eyes are only really fine when he's scoping out a waitress.
They saw what the serving girl put into the Javachino as well.
I know what's coming up, and something tells me I'm not gonna like it. Your Honor? We need more clarification on what was put into the victim's coffee. I'd like to ask that the witness add what he knows about this to his testimony.
I agree. Witness, will you enlighten us, please?
Sure. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there.
Did she really put that into the coffee?
You doubt me, boy? She took some out of a small brown bottle and sprinkled it in.
Couldn't she have been adding sugar?
Sugar? In a small brown bottle like that?
Like that. Witness, could you please describe the bottle in more concrete terms?
A bottle like this, perhaps? Oh, there it is. That's the one.
That's the bottle of potassium cyanide, I presume?
So, what did the accused put into the coffee? I think it's clear, don't you? The man took one sip. Oh, this is
He took just one sip?
You young'uns, you waste everything. Those Javachinos cost $8. In the good old days, we would have drank every last drop, eaten the cup, and then died.
Wow, yeah.
Whoa, okay.
Congratulations! You've earned the title of baddest man to grace a courtroom. Yay!
So it was an immediate death. Well, with potassium cyanide, I suppose that is possible. Oh, yes, he slumped over without so much as a twitch. I felt the Javachino I just drank turn sour in my stomach. It's probably the coffee, not the murder. Oh, yes, I know the feeling.
And the waitress, I presume she is
You said I remember her well in reference to the waitress. Did she have any particular features that you can identify her by?
Particular features? It's a disgrace, that's what it is.
Sorry?
You can see all the way up to her, you know, she's practically naked in that uniform.
So the particular feature you recognize about the waitress is her outfit? But anyone could wear just such a uniform, even me!
Mr. Wright, please spare the court of any further mental anguish from that image.
I want to get it out of my brain. Don't get all excited, Nick. You gotta keep yourself together. We can talk about this after.
I guess I got a bit carried away.
There are other things I recognize about her, too.
He seems pretty sure of himself. What should I do? Sure, you saw a waitress take the coffee over to the victim. But what matters is whether that waitress was Maggie Bird or not.
Quite right. Mr. Kudo, these other features that you recognize about the defendant, I would ask you to add them to your testimony.
Ooh la la.
Sure. There was a ribbon in her hair, and her apron straps were loose. Sorry?
She did have a red ribbon in her hair.
Yeah, she does have a ribbon.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Anne. Thanks for the raid.
my god, look at that fat raid!
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thanks for the raid.
Yeah, we're we're attempting to disentangle this case, which a phony Phoenix Wright has failed.
There's this pervy old man. We're
It's
trying to
true.
take him down. You do seem to remember several details about her appearance. But what about the most crucial detail of all? Her face.
As if I wouldn't remember that. The witness noticed the straps on the accused's apron. He's unlikely to make a mistake about her face. And that's right. I can even tell you the color of the ribbon in her hair. It was red. So you see, there's nothing wrong with the witness's eyesight, as far as we know. Yes, those are Yes, okay. So, the emote, yes, this is the one emote that you can get for subscribing, and it's a Kiryu emote that my co-host here Renu has drawn for me. They're beautiful.
I gotta make a Majimer one.
Yeah. Oh my god, I love these.
Oh, never mind. There's already Majima one.
Listen, we need other Majima ones. If we ever unlock more
Need more.
emote slots, we can make Majima emotes.
We can never have too many Yakuza emotes.
That's true. Did I tell you this? I don't know if you saw, but I started Yakuza Kiwami too.
I did. I saw the notifications.
Yeah, I've been playing through it. I'm on chapter like 5, 6,
Oh,
something like that.
you blazing.
Yeah, it's a little like, I feel like it's a little more streamlined
Yeah,
than the first one was.
a lot less meandering, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, you know, Kiwami too. So much good Majima in that one. Oh, I can't wait. I haven't seen Majima yet, but I hear that he has his own like dedicated chapter.
Bro.
Majima hand. Let's go. In the middle of
Ooh,
Yakuza 3.
3.
Yeah. I've been really wanting to play through Yakuza for various reasons, but yeah, I'm in the middle of Kiwami 2, and then I will play through the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm ready to go on this emotional journey with Kiryu.
His saga.
His saga.
There's no doubt he remembers the waitress pretty well. What should I do? I get the feeling there's something more to this somehow.
Ask about the straps. Ask about the waitress's back.
Oh dear.
I guess I'll ask about the strap.
Mr. Kudo, you seem especially interested in straps. Why is that?
What?
The ribbon in her hair, the straps on her apron. What's the fascination?
It's fascination. So with Yakuza 0 last August, working my way through the entire series. It's so good. Oh, it's so good.
Objection!
People have all kinds of fetishes, trite. We don't need to embarrass the witness. Listen, you young upstarts. I haven't got some six-strap fetish. The judge is like, I'm gonna give that one a think-a-moochie.
Is there any relevance to the witness's unusual love of straps, Mr. Wright?
I was just curious as to why he was so fixated on the waitress's straps.
I said I haven't got a strap fetish. How many times do I have to repeat myself?
He likes the strap TM.
TM.
Very well, continue with your testimony, Mr. Kudo, and make it strapless.
Do you think old CD really saw Maggie do it?
Well, he probably had his eye on the waitress the whole time. That's why he was there.
Yeah, when you deny it that vehemently, it does seem like you do have that fetish. But he was there for the cute outfits, right? Not the waitress?
I guess. She makes a good point, though.
Hey, did I just say something clever?
I wonder
Judge
if the
likes it
waitress-
strapless.
I wonder if the waitress Mr. Kudo saw really was Maggie.
That's what we have to figure out, Nick. Well, I guess we'll ask about the other thing then.
Objection!
The identifying features you described are all things you would see from the back.
So what?
Is it possible that you never saw the waitress from the front at all?
Objection!
Huh. He's got you there, Gramps.
People normally talk about facial features when they're asked to describe someone. Wait, why did he object with that?
He just wanted him to know.
But this witness's testimony is nothing but straps and ribbons.
This is harassment. I tell you, I'm not obsessed with straps or ribbons. I'm just telling you what I saw.
Mr. Kudo, the court requests that you add details about any identifying features. Features you observed from the front, that is, to your testimony.
Sure. This old man's testimony is getting longer and longer.
And if I can't find a hole in it soon, it'll get even longer, I bet.
There wasn't anything that caught my interest about her when I saw her from the front. Jesus.
Wow! You didn't find anything to be distinct, but you did clearly see the witness's face, yes?
No question about it. I didn't come this far to back down now. Victor Kudo never backs down.
It's not the answer I was looking for, but okay.
This has turned into a matter of pride for old CD now, I guess. I wonder if he really did see Maggie's face or not.
Like I thought, we need some concrete proof of this. Proof that the old guy didn't see the waitress clearly from the front.
Well, we have just the proof we need, I think. Okay, and then we present this.
Kudo likes it from the back.
Ah, terrible, I hate it. Thank you.
Oh my god.
Awful.
Mr. Kudo, I would like you to please take a look at this.
That filthy thing would suit filth like you just perfectly. Actually, it reminds me of what my grandson looks like just after he's done eating.
Have you ever seen this before?
Of course I haven't. Do you think
Oh.
I'd forget something as dirty as that, Well, you half-witted clot.
There he goes. He's making the face again.
Ah!
What? What is it? Ever since I said you half-witted clot, there's been an eerie silence in here.
Mr. Kudo, this apron is the apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poisoning.
What?
And as you just said yourself, you wouldn't forget something like this. Which means, if you had really seen this apron before... Yes, you know what I'm getting at. You couldn't have possibly seen the waitress from the front.
Oops.
Ah!
We had to listen to this whole thing for that?
Witness. You can't just oops your way out of this.
Oopsie. Well. Looks like we finally have a genuine trial on our hands. Listen, Trite. Here are the facts. On the day of the incident, there was only one waitress in the restaurant.
That being the defendant, Miss Maggie Bird.
Exactly. And when that one waitress put the poison into the coffee cup, this old guy was watching.
I hope you understand the gravity of the situation, Mr. Kudo. The fate of the defendant may rest on what you say you remember seeing.
Just tell the court exactly what you saw, Gramps.
You can rely on me, Captain. My noggin's in perfect working order. I can't remember a single occasion when I forgot what burger a customer wanted.
He can't remember? Probably more like he's messed up so many times he's blocking it out. How else would we have learned about the old man's fetishes? God, imagine if you went to a trial and you just had to learn about an old man's strap fetish.
Man.
Very well, let's test just how good your memory and attention to detail is, Mr. Kudo. Tell us what you remember about the victim.
About the victim. He was another one of those pesky young types, wearing a broken pair of spectacles. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling its pages. The young man was listening to the wireless. I remember that well. When the serving girl in question brought over the Javachino, the little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip.
Knowing your luck, that's exactly what happened if you had jury duty. Oof. Yeah.
The testimony we have just heard was to test how credible the witness's memory is. It seems to me that he remembers the victim in a great deal of detail.
Oh yes, I hate those you-know-what types who are so vague about everything.
How are we gonna handle this, Nick?
We only need to do one thing. We just need to prove that the old man's memory is shot.
Just trip him up, you mean? Isn't that kind of cruel? He's a little guy. He's just an old man.
He likes the strap, Maya.
You have a point there, Nick.
I suppose, but it's what I do best.
You know what types who are vague about everything. Yep.
Spectacles?
Dark glasses to you. One of the lenses was green, but the other was broken. Newfangled rubbish. That's why I remember him so well.
He did have some kind of lens over his left eye.
His glasses are broken.
But I wouldn't have called it a pair of glasses.
That's obviously his scouter. That's how he tells other people's power level.
He seems to have been wearing some rather modern-looking shades.
He must be a big fan of Dragon Ball.
That's how the kids do it nowadays. They only need shades over one eye.
Yeah.
Perhaps I should take to wearing some and rival Mr. Gatto's sharp appearance.
This old man, his power level is 2? Oh. We better come up with something sharp and quick.
Guess I'll wait and see if I should challenge him about the spectacles. The newspaper was a sports paper, was it?
That young hooligan. I nearly asked him, can't you even read without fidgeting, How was I supposed to be able to read the back page with all that rustling going on? I needed to find out if Gutsen Braun retained his championship title.
It was his paper, not yours. If you wanted to know so bad, why didn't you buy your own?
What are you looking at me like that for, How dare you judge me? Ow!
Ow! Ow!
Gutsen Braun got beaten yesterday, by the way. Anyway.
The wireless?
The decadent young rascal. In my day, it was one or the other. Read the paper or listen to the wireless.
Oh boy.
And using an earpiece. It's selfish, that's what it is. I was straining my ears, but I couldn't catch any of it.
Was he that desperate to listen to the radio?
He was just trying to mooch off this guy's entertainment.
I know, right?
What are you looking like me for? How dare you feel sorry for me?
Ow! Ow! You mean the waitress, who you only saw from behind, right?
You're one of those, are you? You never let anything go. Isn't that right?
Maybe.
Maybe.
What does it matter if I saw her from behind?
Ow! We're not pushing until I've got some hard evidence and a
Yeah.
shield.
You get some hard evidence right in your face. See little beans.
His free hand?
Yes.
Which hand was that?
Weren't you listening before, cloth ears? I said he was rustling the newspaper with his right hand, didn't I? If his free hand wasn't his right hand, then which hand was it, you moron? Back!
Ow.
Perhaps the great Mr. Trite has 3 hands.
Yeesh, I was only asking. No need to gang up on me and treat me like a freak.
Mr. Right, where is your 3rd hand?
Don't ask. The whole point of this cross-examination is to establish just one thing. That this old guy's memory has more holes than a slice of Swiss.
Phoenix needs one of those tiny shields they use to protect the Olympic torch.
Yeah. I guess we just need to find a contradiction in his testimony somewhere, huh?
Anything will do, even the smallest detail. We just need one mistake and he's ours.
Well, let's see. What do we got? I mean... maybe this? Let's see. A broken pair of spectacles. His left eardrum ruptured the day before the incident. I'm just gonna try this one more time.
If his left eardrum ruptured the day before the incident, then how was he listening to the radio?
I mean, wasn't he listening with his, like, other ear then?
I thought that it was see, cause see that thing is over his left ear.
Oh. Huh. Where do you think we have to present that?
I mean, this one, right?
Sure? Not quite.
I don't know, not the. I don't know. Since the wireless, I remember that well. He took the wait. So he took up the cup with his left hand. What's in the
Yes.
photo?
This is what the photo looks like.
It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The handle is closer to his right hand, but like,
Maybe?
Yeah. That's young wearing a broken pair of spectacles.
Like, maybe if we present him here.
Sure?
Nah.
No.
Not quite.
Did we save yet?
Let's why don't we drop a save now?
Newspaper in his right hand and the noisy bracket turn. Right, and the wireless.
I mean, we could just try the photo.
Yeah, why not?
Nope.
Mm.
Uh-oh.
Ha!
Oh boy.
What if you present the medication on him listening to the wireless? No. Dang.
Not quite. That's a tough one. Left by the victim. There's a doodle on it.
Hmm.
Covered in the victim and Maggie's fingerprints. Oh, wait. Figured it out. Hold on. Let's just load it.
Let's get our points back.
Get a couple of our points back. I just realized what it is.
Okay.
It's because the mouth cover whatever, the mark from the coffee is on the side of the cup.
Oh, wow, that's great. Yeah.
I
Mr.
get it.
Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of this testimony? That this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory?
I know. There's nothing wrong with my memory, I tell you. Nothing. If I've got anything wrong, I'll eat these seeds and sing the pigeon song. Care to tell us where this is going, Trite?
According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand while drinking coffee with his free hand, which would make that his left.
Huh. What is this? Kindergarten?
But I would like the court to please take a look at this.
That's the cup the victim used, correct?
Yes, and on the rim you'll notice the mark left by the victim's lips.
Yes, there is a stain left by the coffee.
If you consider where that stain is, you'll clearly see that the victim was holding the cup in his right hand.
But how?
Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you'd eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song.
Sing the pigeon song!
Pigeon song!
Sing pigeon song! Pigeon song!
Mr. Kudo, I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable. I think the witness had better go back to the park where he...
Wait! If you think I'm going to stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad, you're wrong. I don't care about that dirty coffee cup. I know what I saw.
You still insist on your testimony? That young... Oh, sorry.
That young brat was holding the cup in his left hand. Oh, yes, no question. I'm a good law-abiding citizen, I am. It's that dead young hotbot and you spiky-haired yahoo who are at fault.
Oh, me?
Thank you, old man. We've heard quite enough from you already.
Don't call me old man, old man. Been around for 68 years, I have. You can't ignore me. Listen to what I've got to say.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but...
Sure. Why not hear a little more?
Mr. Goto.
But this is my 16th cup of coffee, so this is your final stand. Thank you, Captain. You can rely on Victor. Left hand or right hand? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep,
Okay,
that's
now
instantly
we
wrong.
get there. Yeah.
He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup, too. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand.
We know that the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye.
It wasn't a monocle, Your Honor. It was a
Scouter.
small computer monitor often used by programmers.
Scouter.
Yeah, Scouter.
A monitor? You mean like a television screen?
Are these things real? The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called an HMD. It's a common tool in the victim's line of work.
Is
HD, TV, DVD, CD, all these newfangled letters drive me mad, but they don't matter. They
Over the eye
invented
like that?
HD. Yep. What? They invented the letters just for these acronyms. I know what I saw, and I'm telling the truth.
It's true. He doesn't seem to be lying.
And those are the facts in good old black and white. Well, let's drop another save. I'm not sure what exactly it wants to present.
He's wearing the earpiece on the same side, so that means that he was wearing it over his ruptured ear.
Yeah. There you go.
Finally. I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but... Mr. Kudo, there is something very strange about your observations of the victim.
What?
You say he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMD.
No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, not without a doubt. I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting.
My man. I don't think so.
Go in jail, buddy. What did you say?
Oh, my man. You're no doubt unaware of this fact, Mr. Kudo. But the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum was ruptured.
Huh?
Traces of medication for his condition were found in his ear canal. That's right. It's impossible that the victim was wearing his earpiece in his left ear. Because he couldn't even hear in that ear.
Is that true, Captain? It is. Pigeon! Pretty pigeon! Oh my god,
dear.
you really did it.
Pigeons on!
Order! Order! Order!
Please stop singing the pigeon song now.
Oh, it's very distressful.
This witness's testimony is completely unreliable. He's over there singing a pigeon song. He only saw the waitress from behind and her straps. And he claims the victim was wearing an earpiece when we know his eardrum was ruptured. Well, Mr. Gatto?
A single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in the cup. This old man is my drop of milk. Captain, are you calling me a drip?
This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows that the victim picked it up with his right hand.
I'll never back down. I know I'm right. The lad drank his Java Cheeto with his left hand. Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly the victim used both hands. He took a sip with the cup held in his right hand, then switched to his left. That's what the old man said.
Impossible.
He fucking died. He took one sip and died.
The witness had already testified on numerous occasions that the victim died immediately after taking just one sip of the coffee.
Which hand the victim used to pick up his cup is irrelevant, Your Honor. The facts still stand. With one hand or the other, Mr. Elg drank the poisoned coffee. Like this.
Sadly, Mr. Gatto, that doesn't wash. The point of this testimony was to establish whether the witness's memory is credible. And the results are clear. The testimony given by this witness is useless.
Ew, gross, he did it again.
I believe it is time to conclude today's proceedings. I am satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court. But to be frank, his testimony is a farce.
Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old fogey.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, you can't reach me from there.
Neener, neener, neener.
I'm ordering the defense and the prosecution to investigate this case further. That is all for now. This court is adjourned.
Oh. Wait. If we stop now, where does that leave me?
Leave you, Mr. Kudo?
Thanks to that blue-suited young upstart over there. I'm just a bumbling old man who can't even dot his T's or cross his I's now.
How is your bad memory my fault?
I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but there's nothing I can do.
I've kept my mouth shut until now, but there's something else the court should know. What?
There's more.
To be perfectly honest, it might not be anything, but I want another chance. I want another crack at you, you young shark.
Me? He's looking at me like I'm some sort of evil shogun.
Well, everyone, what do you say to one final showdown? The final chapter in this eccentric old man's scrapbook.
Man.
Sorry, Gramps. I've already had my 17th cup of coffee.
Whoa.
What have you got to lose, Captain? I'll give you all the Javachino you want if you come to my house after the trial. I may be 68 years old, but Victor Kudo is still a man. And what is a man but a miserable pile of coffee?
That's enough, witness. I believe it will be quicker for the court to just hear your testimony.
You bet. Much, much quicker.
I can't believe this is happening.
You better get ready, youngster.
Oh man. I get the picture. Just quit throwing those seeds at me, would you? He's gotta be using some sort of infinite ammo code with that box of seeds.
The final showdown. First of all, I want to stress that this might be nothing. I'm not too sure of myself. The young boy slumped over the table as soon as he took one sip of his Javachino. Well, the clumsy idiot upset the vase. He knocked it right over. It broke and the strip of cloth covering the table got completely soaked. Well, how about that? Turn things upside down,
Is that all?
Yes, that's all. I remember it perfectly. Huh? You're doubting me again? You're doubting a poor, defenseless old man?
No, we are not doubting you, Mr. Kudo.
Don't you get the feeling there's a question hanging on everyone's lips, Nick?
Yeah. So what? Probably. That's all I can think of, and I have to cross-examine this guy.
You're a bird brain. That's why all you think, that's all. You're a bird brain. That's why that's all you can think of.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your final cross-examination, please. Release us.
The final showdown.
The court generally prefers if witnesses are sure of themselves, Mr. Kudo.
Noisy brat. I'm warning you, I'm more savage than a macho man right now. You won't beat me with this testimony. This is the final battle.
Ow! Ow! He's chucking those seeds harder than ever. I better be careful.
Come on, Nick. Nail him.
Wait, hold on.
Oh no. Oh man. Mr. Kudo, this is a photograph of the crime scene.
So what?
Look carefully at the table. The vase is there, intact.
Huh?
Lost your tongue, Granddad?
I'm no granddad of yours, Hopscotch.
Ow! Ow!
Enough. If you throw any more seeds in this courtroom, the cleaners will be here all night.
Ah,
And what is it now?
I just remembered something.
Yes! Go on!
The broken vase. It was on my table.
What?
Well, you see. It startled me when the young lad collapsed, so I stood up. That must have been when it fell over. The vase on my table, I mean.
The vase on your table?
Yes, it was on my table. And that's how my groin came to be completely soaked.
Wow. Uh,
Thank you, Mr. Kudo. You certainly earned your kudos for today.
I'd like to ask a question now. Have I been any use at all?
Perhaps that's something you should reflect on yourself, Mr. Kudo.
Ah, wait a minute. If that's the case, there's more. I've got more to say. Oh, yes, I remember something else.
Bailiff, escort the witness out of the courtroom.
Wait, listen to me.
Oh. Well, we seem to have been considerably sidetracked. And I am still not in a position to deliver a verdict. The defendant has not been positively identified as the waitress in question. Additionally, there are two disparities in the testimony we have heard thus far.
The mark on the coffee cup that the victim supposedly drank from with his left hand, and the earpiece, which was inserted into his left ear, out of which he couldn't hear.
Wow, Nick, you did it.
I therefore require both the defense and the prosecution to further investigate the facts.
Yes, Your Honor.
There's one more thing before I call today's session to an end.
One more thing, Your Honor.
The witness we just heard from. He is most insistent that his testimony should be of use. So he summarized it accordingly into this statement.
Okay.
Okay.
You may each have a copy of it if you wish.
Whatever. The prosecution doesn't need any props like that.
Kodo's really mad, huh?
Yeah, I would be too.
Very well. Here you are then, Mr. Wright. There are 3 copies. My own, yours, and Mr. Gatto's.
Yes, Your Honor.
Victor's testimony added to the court record.
I'm sorry? This isn't a piece of testimony, more like a 5-year-old's apology.
What the heck are we supposed to do with 3 copies?
That is all. This court is adjourned.
But, to be continued.
Man.
We're off to it, off to the races.
All right. Well,
That was fun.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
very fun.
we will see you next week, same time, which is 8 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, see you then.
Indeed.
Bye bye.
Less straps.